Hello, and welcome back to Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. We apologize for that slight delay. It's just poker. You missed one hand. And you really just missed the audio of that one particular hand. Hello, Lost in Poker.
Oh, it would have worked. Oh, damn, it would have worked. It would have worked.
Main event, tournament dealers, blinds are up $75 ante, 3 and 600 blinds, 75 ante.
We are only here for 3 days in Pittsburgh, actually 4. 3 days of cash games, 1 day of final table tournament coverage.
4.
But then next week, we're in Florida for 3 more days of cash game coverage. That's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, November 29th, November 30th, and December 1st.
Just say 4.
Break that, would you? Straddle.
Welcome, guys. Poker Night in America, live from Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. $25.50, no limit hold'em. Is the game.
It's always 4 if you can't.
Players are back from dinner. We are as well.
Nice hand.
Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us.
If I had represented the straight flush on the higher side, it would have worked. Yeah. Unless I just...
Straddled pot. So $25.50, 100. Mark Smith, known as Pegasus, makes it 300.
15?
Gets called in a few spots before Dan Wolf. Cletus
Every time I have it,
3 bets and takes that one down and shows the kings.
I made a big laydown too. I'd imagine.
Mickey Deuces, I had a tuna salad
Actually, I'll just use this.
for dinner. Gallup guy, you missed my joke, man. I did it in the first hour.
Good raise. I think I would have won that. I saw the run out. There's a whole ton of
You got a coffee black.
high cards and black cards. I think it.
I had those. I had high and black cards.
I think mine.
I don't like that
with one
thing.
Baron.
The card protector, I don't like it.
I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was a good run out for me. But you gotta play him.
Appreciate the tweets, guys. Seth Darkheart, thanks, man.
3
Neither player are going to love this flop. You imagine the pre-flop raiser will take this one down. Or just Phil Lock will take it down.
Mark did not give me any cards.
Sometimes the hands play themselves.
Password for today, coming later. That will come in the about 8 p.m. Eastern time. Well, sometime between now and 8 p.m., I should say.
How long can you register for the tournament? 8 levels or just that
So-
6?
I think after dinner break.
On the
If you're just joining us, welcome. Poker Night in America, the cash game here in Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. Igor in seat number 1. That's in the blue shirt. On his left, Dan Wolf, known as Cletus. Jack Schonbacher in the black shirt. On Jack's left, Phil Locke, who we're looking at with the ski goggles. Mark Pegasus Smith,
I'm already in for 1 green checker.
deficient in the hair department. In the very loud jacket, you can only see his right arm right now. That is Tom Donkey Bomber Schneider.
They get 4 1/4.
And then on his left, right there, Mike Virhala, who won the satellite to get in here. That's right, there is a satellite to get into this cash game. Noon each day.
All good.
$1,000 satellite. The winner of that gets to play
A 1K chip.
in the cash game.
Phil, you winning now?
I think it might be.
Yeah, I'd say he's winning.
We are on a 30-minute delay, but I'm on the same delay that you guys are.
Around 11 and a half.
Wow.
But yesterday I lost 13, so like for the 2 days I'm stuck 1,500. That's a good win rate. I
Yeah.
enjoy myself. You can't put a price on a good
No,
bet.
you cannot put a price
That's
on it.
$750 I'd pay a night.
As always is the case, I'd like to keep the show as interactive as possible, guys. You can join us in the chat room.
Happy to have the money.
That's at twitch.tv/PokerNightTV.
Right.
I can see Dustin, Boston Kid, Wigmaster, Raven Darkheart,
And pull a Tom Schneider and just have like
A Gold, Dollop Guy, C-Manx, Gravy Main,
all their blow
Lost in
scores,
Poker,
value hands, collect.
Tits and Tits.
Like 8,000, which is a beer.
They're all in there. Thanks, guys.
I have to put it in wrong with the big hand. I have to pay for one spade.
Hey, it all works.
Appreciate you guys spending your Saturday with us, wherever you might be in the world. Farkas Poker, wondering who the big winners and big losers are so far. You know, a lot of money hasn't really traded hands. Schneider, I believe, is a big winner.
Okay, at one time.
I believe Donkey Bomber, Tom Schneider, who's up like 9K, I think he's the big winner.
And then knowing how your opponent's going to move towards or from.
Matt Clance, eating dinner behind me. I can only assume that means he got knocked out of the tournament. Yeah.
Marty Hogan?
I lost my over-under on him.
You know who Marty
By the way, so we set a line. I put it out to Twitter,
The only guy in
and we set a line at 27 yards, the longest field goal I'll be able to kick. You take the over, you're taking the under. Okay, so I'm going to get some action on the over then for that? Okay, cool. I'm going to wake up at 8 in the morning tomorrow, stretch.
Wow.
I don't want to pull a quad.
Get him. I'm tired of these guys beating up on you.
50.
Show them how to do it.
27 yards.
Oh, everyone's calling.
No, I get some practice. Yeah, I get some practice. I get this.
You want me to see if I can just,
Huh? No, of course. It's not going to be like 20 tries, but I get to like kick the ball around a little bit. I get some tries, you know.
I put it in. I put the money in.
We'll come up with
We see three
the
cards.
specific parameters of a bet later on. Smith raising with 10s. He's not going to like this flop, but he's still ahead.
Good man. I check.
Well, this is a pretty courageous bet from him, though. A lot of guys in his position are probably checking that back. I am in Pittsburgh right now. Morris One Chuck saying, talk about the Pennsylvania bill passing for online poker. I don't know if this is the forum for that, but I am pretty excited about the fact that it looks like online poker will be coming to Pennsylvania. That's good. That is good news. Regardless of where you stand, regardless of whether you play.
15-50.
Wolf. Feels weakness, and he's going to pounce on it, but look at Smith. He's not buying it. This guy has owned thoroughbreds. He's had fillies running the Kentucky Derby. Another overcard to his 10s, but he's picked up a draw now. A jack or a spade. Give Smith a flush or a straight. Let's see if Wolf can continue firing. Yeah, so a 27-yard field goal, that essentially means that I'm kicking, the ball is going to be on a tee at the 17-yard line. Yeah. I might have kicked the field goal in all honesty, like when I was like messing around with my friends when I was like 17 years old. I have no doubt that Donkey Bomber he seems athletic to me. And look at this double barrel from Wolf. It's a good card to double barrel for him, really, in the sense that, you know, he was either A, ahead, or he was doing it with a draw. And both obvious draws got there. Jack 10 got there, Spades got there. So just very, very hard for your opponent to continue on.
Get out there and play. Yeah, he is a fan of playing. Yeah.
Smith is still far below 100 big blinds. But yeah, no, I have not. I mean, I never played football. I've covered it, but never played football. And the equivalent of me kicking field goals would be like, you know, probably when I was 15 years old and we were drunk in our high school football field. I'm an athlete, man. I have faith in myself. Huh? Yeah, no, good point, good point. I mean, dude, I would say there's
I would think Cletus
there's a
would be
distinct
the
chance that not only will I not kick this field goal,
based on the name alone.
there's a distinct chance that I will injure myself.
Well, is Cletus?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I guess Cletus maybe is the crazy one. I should switch that around.
Yeah.
Cletus is coming back out.
Hype No Beam saying a 27-yard field goal is on the 10-yard line.
Isn't
That is
it bad
only
when
if
guy
there's a
puts
hike
The name on your a read on your name better than you do.
and you have like an offensive
That's really
line.
bad.
We're probably not going to bring an entire offensive line in there, and there probably won't be a pass rush.
Cletus is trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
Cletus is
yeah.
still trying to find his way.
If I had to deal with a pass rush, then I even less. If Nolan, no, that's fine. I could kick a 40-yarder if Nolan's coming in.
Independent thing because like
I would just kick it right at his head.
his
But Nolan, you're the pass rusher. Nolan Dalla is the pass rusher.
there were times where he was just like, you know, citizen of the world, and there were times where he stayed towards the end, you know? So I think it's
Spleefed, we will do that. There's actually a funny little game that I've seen broadcasters do, and I've played it before, where if you're producing TV, a lot of deuces out there, all the ducks are out there, where you give your co-commentator or co-broadcaster a funny phrase or a funny word, and as kind of a fun game to keep everybody on their toes, they have to figure out a way to get that word in the broadcast. So Spleefed, you have given me a very easy word to get into the broadcast, but I will do my best.
So you got to run the numbers on it to like, even though it's Cletus, it still has like 15% of clearance in there, and so you got to account for both. It's scary when you're playing against somebody like that.
Yeah.
Vierheller just moved all in. Kind of a weird play, I'm not going to lie.
3 deuces. If anyone had a deuce in their hand, you know what that means they have. Quads.
Really, really hard for you to get any action.
And then it comes the kicker. So you could have a deuce and an ace. Another guy could have a deuce and an 8 or a king. The ace is higher than a king or an 8. Any number less than an ace, not, you know.
From goal line to the back of the end zone to the field goal is 10 yards. So for our purposes, we will put a tee up at the 17-yard line. That will be a 27-yard field goal. The line has been set.
100. I'm sorry, I haven't even looked yet. I haven't looked.
I'll take, like I said, provided I get a few practice shots and I get to warm up, then I'm happy.
I didn't think it was a big blind.
Well, if somebody puts their finger there and holds it, I don't care either way. I just don't know if anybody would want to do that. There's a distinct chance that I might miss the ball and kick their head.
Oh, straddle. You're on a straddle. So it's a straddle. Now you limp, so I'm going to look what I have. Awesome. Now I'm going to check. There's 3 of us. Oh,
5-4-3, 2 diamonds out there. Nice flop for Smith. Smith has got a double gutter as well as a diamond draw. I mean, he's just got a monster hand here. And he hits it. It's an easy game. Yeah, Schombacher's done with this one. They say it's easier to kick off a tee than versus a guy holding. Why? Gravy Main says, why the hell is Locke always wearing that ski mask? He says, in a very dumbfounded way, as if you would even ask, it helps keep him
Very boring.
in touch with the mothership.
We should play while we're sleeping. You like play on bed. So
Let's have our
everybody's
robots
in a-
play.
Daleb guy,
Everybody in a bed.
in a very unscientific way, says it's 5 times easier off a tee.
200.
I'd like to see data suggesting that it's 5 times easier.
Oh no, I haven't seen Eric in a while.
Where did we come up with the scientific data that it's exactly 5 times easier with a tee?
Not good.
Seat on 2.
I guess I made everybody mad when I said you're all boring.
They're going to prove you wrong.
Everyone's fine.
I don't know if they are or not.
We could make some sort of a bet like I get 10, I have to kick it 10 times from the 27-yard line, or 5 times, and I have to make like
I think they like your style,
4.
here, kid.
3. There's so many times out of it.
You can't even take like a 20-minute break. Play with something now.
Got a big hand developing here, Schombacher and Igor. These two have locked up in the past, with Schombacher always getting the best of Igor.
It's true.
See what happens here.
My wish will come true.
Well, so far, once again, Schombacher just continues to just pound on this kid. Shavanoki says, would it make sense to forbid wearing a ski mask at the table? Why?
Tom Snyder, you're familiar with the fact that there's little magnets, pieces of steel.
7,400 in the pot right now.
Good 11.5 to 13 gram casino chips.
As I mentioned, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you want to say hi to me on Twitter or ask any question, you can. I'm at Tuck on Sports.
Optimize the signal
Twitch,
through the
same thing. I am at Tuck on Sports there as well.
In Arizona, they have cactus that are cell
It's basically like a recharge tower for the.
Schombacher checks. Igor is going to bet. I think a lot of players in that particular spot would be checking back.
You could set up a little triangulation here, so where they
and get super focused in.
But he'll get your messages.
I don't know if my software guy went into your chips and fixed it out. But you got to have the Neutralink chip, right?
Yeah.
You just get the one. You got the.
Do you go to Comic-Con? I can see you going to Comic-Con. I love that. Do you?
I've never been.
Never been?
I know of it, yeah.
You should go.
It seems like it could be fun.
You should go. I could see
did a
you.
little documentary.
You know what would be funny is those guys would think they're freaky, and then you would go and they go, "This guy's freaking me out."
No, I would. These guys put in a lot of money. 5-7 of diamonds would be a very strong hand.
What do we got? Oh my God!
Can't have 5-7 of hearts.
No.
Schombacher wins another one against
silent
Igor.
on, because
You're a good man, sir.
I intercepted the
You're
signal.
interested in the signal?
Dark Rage 555. We don't do shout outs. Sorry,
You're
but
rolling over us like a bulldozer. Even if we have our permits to build, you say, no thank you, Tom Schneider Wrecking Company here, and you just bulldoze over whatever little...
Polkson says, new to the stream, is this poker or Winter Olympics? You get it? The ski goggles.
Really?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Polkson. That's a funny one. When Phil Locke plays, it's kind of like X Games meets poker.
Jack, I think, has some anger management issues.
By the way, if you are new to the stream, we are playing poker, and if you're new to poker, this is poker. We're playing 25-50 no limit hold'em. Very simply, we're trying to make the best 5-card hand. If you have any questions about the game, don't be shy. Ask away in the chat. You can also ask me personally, either on Twitter or on Twitch. Trying to bring new people to the game. Wolf with a flush draw.
Phil, have you given any more thought to your self-proclaimed name?
Oh my God, that's such a great question.
What's me?
No, I haven't, but I'm going to. I want to decide if I want.
Blue chips you see at the table are $25. Black chips are $100. Orange chips are $1,000. And you see that gray chip on top of the orange ones? It's in Jack Schombacher's stack. You can kind of see it standing on top of the orange ones. I should say sitting on. It's not really standing. It's a chip. They don't stand. But that chip is a 5K, that gray one. That is a 5K chip.
Baxter was nicknamed Silent Mike by yours truly a long time ago. I was in the hand with him. No.
Schombacher with somewhere in the $32,000 range. We'll get the chip stacks up for you in a second, though.
Yeah. People would, there was little conversational things that were optional, and he could have easily gone and he just silenced.
Yeah.
So one time in a hand, it was funny. I just came up and everyone's stuck. Boom.
Check raise here from Wolf and a quick fold by Schombacher.
Show the bluff there.
It'd be good for me.
Ace-9, the best hand, the best draw.
The spades came on the river. It would be like my hand. Well, you didn't put him on a set. It's like how, but you can really put pressure on people if you have a draw, huh? Do it.
I mean, sometimes not what I have, or if I think what they have, you know, or I don't know. It's just.
You just go for it if it
Sometimes
feels right.
I just look at my cards, look at the board. Sometimes I just look at their face, look at the board.
Yep.
You know, like. Sometimes I rub my baby's tummy, like if I feel something radiate. Like it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of things. It changes.
Yep.
1 second, I'm taking notes.
They're gonna call CPS on you.
3 and 4.
Oh my god, you have all the shit.
Cullen Human says Wolf is by far the best player at the table.
He's communicating with the mothership.
Matt Lance coming over. Matt Lance has been eliminated from the tournament, the main event. Wolf, I mean, I've been impressed by Wolf's play. I don't know if he's the best player at the table by far, but I've been impressed by his play. I mean, I think Schombacher's been very good.
450.
Bunch of bombers. We cannot go through an airport and yell out each other's names, so all of a sudden we start getting frisked.
That is correct. You saw an ad, right? That was a good play. I mean, whatever. If he has a... Hey, it's just bet sometimes. I don't know.
I'm going to do that too, Phil. I think I'm going to go with a new chip.
Yeah.
Chip
If they antennae, it's like a free roll. You could be like a monkey typing out something. But you could be just a chip, a human, just accidentally building a radio signal to your brain. But you're not even really aware, but you did it.
Monkey
You've done
typing
it.
out something. I like that.
400.
I'm going with the bigger stacks, taller. I really don't believe that theory. I don't care how many monkeys you have and how many typewriters. There's some things you just will not ever get. They will make a mistake halfway through.
Why you got spell check?
400.
Or they'll run out of typewriter ribbon on the first day.
Yeah, if
Big
it's
flop for Igor.
They won't even collect the data. Well, if happened and no one will know. Like, if you clap in the woods, does
Straight draw, flush draw.
There's no one there to hear it. Well, it could be the same thing.
He's going to raise and take that one down.
It could be like a woven thing. Since the scientists will never explore it, because we're never going to hire monkeys to go into.
You don't have to hire monkeys. Actually, you know, they don't.
Just feed them every once.
Yeah, don't have to hire them. It's not like an interview process or anything.
Yeah, would you like me?
I'm sorry.
I'm just compassionate. I feel like the monkeys have needs
They
too, and
deserve-
they should be.
Your letter will be in the
I've
minute.
been typing away all the time. They
days.
don't want to be in the woods. I actually think this is probably not even worth asking monkeys. I say keep the monkeys in the jungle and don't even ask them because I'm pretty sure
They wouldn't be interested.
Down at least a couple thousand just from
They wouldn't be interested.
surrendering the strap.
It's your option, buddy. You don't have to explain it to me.
125.
I mean, it's better for the game, but damn.
4 players. Times are tough, man.
Times are tough, man.
You got that 15K over there now?
Got that 15K, still trying to get on stock from yesterday.
250.
Might have to play all through next Wednesday for that to happen.
$750.
Huh?
Oh, Eric. Coming to one soon?
I don't know. Smart. Your name, it really is catching on though. You did a good job with that.
$1,600.
Yes, it's front and center. It's there, yeah. Against what
Schneider bets 1,600 with trip fours.
Gonna have it on here.
Igor calls.
Like, you got some. Yeah, right.
See, on the top, you must let the antenna breathe, you know? It's like multiple
There's a bet, there's a call.
see pickup.
Nice little pot. As the 10 does play.
Do you have a name for that sculpture there, Phil? Do you name your
It's just tower one, basic control.
Tower 1 basic control? That's what the mothership
Yeah, beams
keeps in
through.
contact with.
Yep, it's just one of the- It's sort of like the space analogy of if you were just going camping, you would at the end of the night throw up a tent and get your sleeping bag ready for the evening. Like this is just an antenna signal. So
At
when
the end of the night, you get your sleeping bag ready for the evening.
yeah,
from like the next
No,
evening,
for like
at the end of the
around
night,
6,
you get your
7
sleeping bag ready
No,
for
6,
the
7 p.m. I suggest if you're camping, you know,
It's
to
not the
set
end
up
of the
your.
Matt Berkey tweets in. Don't forget Jack Scheinbacher, one of Pittsburgh's finest. Yeah, well, his game has really impressed me. I mean, he's picked some great spots,
Take a rest, whatever.
bluffed in a couple of great places, and then we saw him fold a set of kings.
If you want to build your antenna.
Never easy to fold a set.
Does it have to be green?
No, but it's nice. It's nice because something to do with the oscillations.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure how it works. I wasn't. I'm just guessing even.
Now,
I'm
do
not
those
even sure.
goggles have any capacitors
This is all conjecture.
to keep some of the oscillations in, or it's just gone after you?
Oh, I'm already straddled.
Yeah, he beats your ear. I'm trying to like.
100.
You're having fun. I don't care.
Did we get you?
Yeah.
Yeah. His first.
I have fun every day, buddy.
Remember he was the 2 hands in a row?
Yeah, I thought so, but I didn't know if we give him anything. I don't remember.
Straddled pot, once again, 25, 50, 100. Igor's going to raise on the button to 300.
Still has a good fortune.
Wolf suspects something here. The dynamic between the button and the blinds always kind of intrigues me. Neither player gives credit for the other one. It's like, I know you don't have to have a big hand in the button, but the button knows that you
So
know
having to pay the second
that.
tip.
That's your baby.
And the guy in the blind also knows that you know that he knows
When they have
that.
the 2 in a row.
Scheinbacher just calls. Fours are hot.
5 1/4.
525.
Lock's going to lead out here. A float by Igor. He's got a gut shot. I don't think Scheinbacher is going to fold this that easily. Could be wrong.
I thought that baby was an earpiece at first. You know, like
That's what it looks
a-
like. Or like a candy corn or something.
Now, Igor was floating on the flop, but he probably wasn't counting on Scheinbacher coming and sticking around for it. And if we get the showdown, Scheinbacher will win this hand.
All right, time for the splash pot. Take a look up front. Good luck to all tables. Table 14, congratulations.
Scheinbacher, dad, professional poker player, has 2 sons. I think one was born fairly recently. Thursday. Oh, wow. That's not fairly. That's like yesterday.
700.
He took his kid home this morning and he came here to play poker? Wow. Right back to work for this guy, huh? Man. I was just checking his Twitter feed and I saw that he had a baby boy recently. So I know he has 2 sons, but I didn't realize it was, I mean. I didn't realize he had his son 2 days ago.
Good bet. So wanted to raise it.
Igor bets the river.
Didn't you want to raise it?
So bad.
Oh my God.
I had to talk myself out of
You
it.
guys.
And gets Jack to fold the best hand.
I told myself out of not 3-betting free.
I haven't folded to a 3-bet yet. Well, once.
You have once.
Once. Yeah.
Nice bet, nice hand, whatever it was. I had a hand too, but I just didn't call it or raise.
We all had hands.
Besides the person
Jack had
putting-
8s.
putting
You had,
in the most
I don't
money,
know,
the most
5-6,
money.
5-8.
Yeah, he had, right, he didn't.
He had like 8s, so he had 5-6. Ace 5.
I had exactly 8. Good read. I almost made it 3,200.
There's a very intense conversation going on in the chat room about what's a set
Or
and what's
I don't know
trips.
if you believe me or not, if I make it like 5,000.
There's a tip pot, boys and girls.
You had the 5-6.
Ace 5, maybe.
Yeah, your favorite pot of the whole
Yeah.
You had
session.
ace 5.
I do believe there's a difference between a set and trips.
I am.
That's why I'm on the side of if you have a pair,
I fold the best hands that I
You can
fold.
flop a set. Or you can flop quads.
Couldn't play any better.
If you do not have a pair in your hand, you cannot flop a set. You can only flop trips.
6,000.
But I'm not going to be a Nazi about it. If somebody misspeaks, and as long as it's clear what they mean, who cares, really?
He defends.
I'm a flop junkie. Yeah, I want to see the flop.
I mean, I'll bet all my queens.
853 Rainbow, top pair here for Mike. Mike Bierheller. He's the one he's the satellite winner. He played a satellite at 12 o'clock, a $1,000 satellite, won that table, and that got him onto this table.
Oh, no, wait. Have I really folded?
So he's trying to turn 1,000
My hand alive.
into 10,000 into who knows. It didn't work yesterday
Did I ever let go of my
for Dan Wolf. He turned 1,000 into 10,000 and then lost it. Had to rebuy.
Oh, I misread my hand. If I had
Hopefully
this
for
hand, I
Mike's
folded, but then
Mike's
I said,
sake,
oh my God, I
he'll
thought
have
I
better
had a
luck.
different hand that I would have called with. So I didn't know. Had I folded? I would not want to ever do
I
an
don't
angle
know if
shoot,
they're
but
local. I don't
think you did.
I
I
had
don't know if they're local
I had
also.
queen 9 of hearts, and then I thought I had 9-6 of
Right, here you go.
hearts, where a 7 would be a straight. Or something. I thought
Right.
I thought I flashed over to having a pair and a straight draw with a flush something
Yeah.
more powerful, like 2 overcards in a gutter or so. I thought I had. So I was like, oh wait, did I really fold this? Like I would call this.
You better rearrange your stack. The signals are getting a little
That signal
bit.
is well, it's on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
When I'm in the orbit, there's these little lapses. I'm out. I'm just out of reception.
So when's it get back?
But so I didn't want to ever do. I guess even if it's close, I should just fold because I
Oh, you
made the
can
forward
ask. You
motion.
can ask whatever the ruling is. I think it's
That is a good thing.
whatever the
I'm
house
so
rule is. I don't know what the house rule
startled that I
is.
made the mistake.
Forward substantial motion. I would say that was a
A
fold.
fold then. Yeah, it was forward substantial motion. Okay, good. I'm glad that.
Forward substantial motion.
Yeah, there's a misconception. A lot of people think the line
forward substantial.
that you see on a poker table,
Still, every time you got to do that.
they believe the line actually has a meaning.
You played every.
I'm in favor of eliminating lines from poker tables, just to avoid
I never know if you
people
have-
misunderstanding what's a bet, what's not a bet, what's action, what's not action. I just say get rid of the line. Because for the vast majority of tournament managers out there and poker rooms out there, at least ones I've played in, the line is meaningless. Forward motion is what indicates action. So I don't know why they still make tables with lines.
You're like the
That particular line, at least,
Classic.
when it doesn't mean anything.
Oliver.
Charles Dickens?
Yeah, Oliver and
Twist.
you're like
Oliver Twist,
yeah,
right?
and moving it around, and
Yeah.
you know, I can't catch you. You can catch me. I feel like one of those guys in the just floating out there. I'm always happy when you fold. 'Cause when you raise me, I don't know what to do.
Spleefed, we'll be letting you know what the buy-ins for the profit loss for each player at the end of the show. That is in approximately 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Did we do the flop thing on the 50th of the?
Yeah, he got me.
Jack lost.
It's a win.
I can tell you Tom Schneider is winning.
We would be like stranded.
I can tell you Phil Locke is winning.
Without oars in our boat, without the dealers, we'd just be drifting.
I wanted to play friendly.
Not as big swings as yesterday when Jennifer Tilley was down about 40K. And we had a couple players up 20,000. Ten high flop. Nothing there for either player.
What you move on to?
Little Glenn Levitt.
You have a seat on 3.
Oh, I like the side by side. So this is not official,
I didn't get the.
The invite.
but based off our records right now, it actually Phil Locke is our big winner. He's up about $12,000. Schneider is up about 9,000.
I need that. For the longest time, I had just one long.
Dan Wolf, Clarence, Cletus,
I like that tradition.
whatever you want to call the guy.
Good deal.
Blinker.
Yeah, we should have some.
He's up about $3,000. The rest of the table is down.
$20 a day to work.
Nobody.
Kind of like a key to the city kind of thing.
Maintain it.
Well, Jack Schombacher is down $15,000 now, and I think he's played really well. He lost the majority of that in that one big hand where he flopped a set of kings, got rivered, and made a great laydown.
Raise the 200.
Sometimes losing money is unavoidable. So he's down about 15,000. Mike Vierheller, who's the one that satellited in, he's down 4,400. But remember, he's in the game just for 1,000. David Baker, who's playing in the tournament, he left just under. He was down about 1,800. Igor, pretty much even. Mark Smith, down about 1,400.
Big hands, just their little pots really fast.
I know, right?
Looks like he's down more than that, but I guess
Phil, you don't have any kids, do you?
stacks are deceiving. Unofficial.
I take care of one kid.
These are very approximate numbers, by the way, guys.
David,
Hope that helps out.
take care of me every
You have
day.
kids, Tom?
I do. 2 daughters,
Cool.
29 and 27.
Wow.
Any grandkids yet?
Raise the 3.
No grandkids, no.
You'll love them when you get them.
Yeah.
Cornet says satellite for a cash game is a little strange. It is. It's something that we just started doing here in Pittsburgh. We're trying to give a chance for a local player to get involved and play on the Poker Night in America cash game, be on TV. You want to play with some pros, you want to play with some celebrities, we'll give you that opportunity here at Poker Night in America. And we did it yesterday. Satellite started at noon. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Just had my 10th grand.
$1,000 satellite, so you can call here at the Rivers Casino. Put yourself on the list if you want to get in.
3, and 4.
And if you win that one table satellite, your 1,000 will turn into 10,000, and then you can
Raise the 400.
play in this.
Bad
Boy,
reception,
Phil. Yeah, how's the reception?
Well, mothership hit a meteor and
Getting back to the felt, by the way, the line. Dalib guy says, he brings up a good point. He says a line gives,
bandwidth.
it lets the players know how far a player should fold their cards so the dealer can reach. I understand that, but I mean, isn't that common sense?
Just that one.
The dealer's not friggin' plastic woman, okay? Her arms don't go that far. If she can't reach, then you push your cards out further. If she can't reach the chips, the same thing.
Monsters to this guy. Monsters.
Put monsters to everybody.
It's crazy.
I think the line, I think the line confuses and causes more misunderstanding, and is an opportunity for angle shooting, more so than what good it does at the poker table, personally.
There you go.
That's the final touch.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Feet, and I believe that's how I say it. Poker night at Rivers in Schenectady in the future. Todd, by the way, is not here, so I can't ask him. We're in upstate New York already, though. We're at Turning Stone, so I'm not sure if we'll make 2 trips to, places so close. But I don't know. I'm not the guy to ask. You can send a tweet though at Poker Night TV. They'll answer for you.
Gone yet?
What?
Gone yet?
Sometimes you can get the chips.
Tits and Tits says, I think some rooms use the line, so manufacturers have to put it on their tables. Keep in mind, felts for poker rooms are all custom. If you play at a casino, generally speaking, that felt will say that name of the casino on it. Or if you have a sponsor, they might put the sponsor on it. This particular felt is custom made for Poker Night in America. Brand new, by the way. I hope you like it. I think it's beautiful. So if you are a poker room and you request to have the line off, I assume they could do it. I'm trying to start a movement, okay?
18 and a quarter.
Help me out.
That's gonna win. I would call a lot of hands.
It's fun to get free money like that, isn't it, Phil?
Well, I don't know if you call that free.
That's free.
You guys give me way too much credit. I love how that's good when you're, when you have, like, let's say I just theoretically, hypothetically had 9s, 10s, through jacks down. Let's just say that was
The satellite to get into this is obviously 10-handed.
Barb off that,
That's how you turn 1,000 into 10,000.
you wonder if they're bullshitting you on their perception.
He gets thrown in, right?
Yeah, he gets hand. He gets hand. He gets hand. If he doesn't come.
Jumbo Salted Pretzel says you've moved me, Tuck. My poker table is line free. There you go. I'm changing people's minds one person at a time. One mind at a
Sit
time.
there like a manhole cover for 4 days, not play hand. You come in, and then 8 guys at the table are like, "Oh, nice bluff." You haven't done anything in 4 hours.
Mickey Deuces likes lines, though. Just understand the line doesn't mean anything. I played a ridiculous amount of poker in the last live poker over the last 12, 14 years, whatever it might be. And the confusion generally is somebody puts money out there and goes, "Oh, I didn't cross the line, so it's not a bet." And then a floorman has to come over and explain to them,
All right, let's see what happens.
the line doesn't indicate that. I have very rarely been in a poker room where the line. Actually, I don't think I've ever been in a poker room where the line was indicated whether it was action or not. It was always forward motion. Pair of 8s for Locke, but a pair of jacks for Schneider. Ray Smuckles puts out an interesting question. If Phil Locke is the most interesting guy in poker, apparently Ray Smuckles thinks that, who would be the second most interesting, man or a woman? Not best player, most interesting. Schneider bets 1,400. Locke can only beat a bluff. This is an interesting bet by Schneider. A lot of guys are checking this back. It's got second pair to the board. Diamonds out there. A lot of players are not betting this hand. It's a good value bet by Schneider, though. Locke's not going to pay him off, though.
Mothership is full communication right now.
I folded a winner, huh? Damn. You give me a free roll?
About $50. Same deal you gave me.
No, kill the hand. I meant a free roll on that's a true statement or not. Because we're not looking, We won't know till the end of the night.
Right.
I'll tell you at the end of the night.
Hey, did anyone at the on the break learn anything? I learned one hand.
Just the hand you had with.
Yeah. Is there any other
That's the
hand?
only one I saw.
I didn't learn anything.
And the Ace King, did have Ace King as.
I saw that on the way out. Yeah, that's right.
That's what I said, and that's what I had.
I think that's the only 2 hands.
Those are the only two I saw or heard
I didn't
about.
really. There might have been 1 or 2, but I didn't see. So I watched that. Nice bet there on the turn river. That was just brilliant. As you know, it's very hard for me to call. It's so powerful. You just know how hard it is for me to call. It's so brilliant. No wonder why you went off.
I wish I was as good as you talked. I don't even think about the stuff you're talking about. I'm not even thinking
Right there in that hand, whether you had it or not, that was like the ideal bet size.
3 of the 4.
10-9-8, 2 clubs out there. Wolf with the overpair plus the straight draw. Schneider's got the straight draw as well on the ass end of it. See if Schneider bluffs at it. Looks like he bet 2,000. Kind of casually puts in there, actually 1,200. 1,200 into 2,000. Wolf can't beat much. Can't beat a flush. Can't beat an 8. He can beat a bluff, though, and he's going to pay him off. Good call by Wolf as he wins that one. Oh.
Can I buy the button here?
You are the blind.
He used the donking call strategy, which is your strategy, against you.
Yeah.
He used your weaponry.
I know.
You were basically out in the field, and you were like, he has my catapult. What's
Yes.
going on?
So I'm hearing that Michigan State apparently defeated Ohio State.
I'll show you the classifieds. Actually, just roll for this.
That's his tool.
Wow.
Check, call, check, call, check, call. He gets all the money. That's how he does play.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now.
Well, that's going to change things up at the top, huh?
They got my,
It's your
Maybe North Dakota can get in there. Let Chris Hansen know.
Don't put it in.
Yeah,
that's,
Yeah, I
you
mean-
know what? It's war now. Before it was just fun. Now it's war.
So the question now is if Ohio State
Yeah, it was fun before.
beats Michigan next week in Michigan, do they still get in the top 4? Do they still get in the playoff? That was only their first
I'm not gonna
loss.
try
I
to win. I'm
mean,
not
obviously one-loss teams are going to get in. So if Ohio State beats Michigan in Michigan next week, do they still get in? I put that out to our audience.
Hey, can you give me,
Thanks so much for spending your Saturday with us. Whether we agree or disagree on certain facts, I think we're having a good time.
they might have him over at the game. If you don't have him, you don't have him. Oh, okay, that's fine. Later, I'll come back later.
Apparently a last-second 41-yard field goal was enough for Michigan State. Lucky I wasn't kicking that field goal. Threes are the best hand here.
That's good. Pocket threes.
Wigmaster and Scotty Mofo saying no Iowa. What if Iowa loses to Ohio State, though? Championship. Now won't even be in. So Ohio State might not be in the Big Ten championship.
Friend Wing Wong would say. The glove
Just
is
one
off.
of them or both?
How many
The
losses
glove
does
is
Michigan
off.
have?
That's what he would always, I don't think he could say plurals. The glove is off.
Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah,
What?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, could have been Michael Jackson.
Raise the 4.
So if Michigan State beats
Gamble with my
Iowa, then
friend,
what?
Mr. Locke.
There's a gambling.
And they all have one loss. Then what? That's interesting.
Raise the 18.
Rent Guild says, mute the commentator, please. This is the amazing thing. Depending on where you're watching, there is probably a volume control. Now, if you're watching on your TV, that's great. That means you are smart enough to hook up your computer to your TV. Well done, you. You probably have a remote control somewhere near you. Look for that remote control, and there'll be a button that probably says vol, just VOL. That's short for volume. Press the arrow pointing down. Nice double up here for Vierheller. Pretty standard. Not very deep. Ace King versus aces. I don't know how the chips don't go in pre. Especially when you got the straddling effect. It's just not, you're not that deep. So you press that arrow that goes down. That will mute
35, 36.
45.
the commentator,
What is this?
46.
What is this?
aka me.
748. 48, 50.
25, 35, 45, 46. 48, 50?
48.
I'll take 150.
Certainly.
Oh. That's one of those times where you're okay that you don't wake up with a big hand. You know, I had a very good, I had a hand that every poker player in the world is going to start the bidding with. Some might continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been over here a while.
It's impossible to have those hands.
I kind of like to see the local amateur win. It's a good story.
It's the wave theory.
Phil Locke, by the way, is basically even. He lost about 13,000 yesterday, right? So
There's a lot of hitting through the fabric.
No, that's not correct. It's permanent.
we're back at it tomorrow, guys. Once again, 1 p.m. Eastern time. More cash games. I do not have the lineup in front of me, but we'll get that for you. Next week, we've got some great lineups. Florida is always fantastic. A lot of big name pros are in the Florida area, down in Hollywood. And that is next Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Tuesday is Women's Night, which should be pretty cool. Button in front of Igor. He has 3-bet the open of Mike Vierheller. Mike's going to call. We'll see this one heads up. Queen on the flop. We are in Pittsburgh, inside the Rivers Casino Poker Room for Poker Night in America. I'm David Tuckman.
How's my go? I'm good. What's
Hot Mark wanting to know why we don't do PLO. I believe the ratings would suffer.
I just lost the big
It wouldn't shock me at all if at some point in the future we did cover PLO, but right now the evidence is such that the ratings are higher for no limit hold'em.
It's like a perfect size pot, so I lost the big pot, but I'm still up like 8.
Not much to like on that board if you're Vierheller. But he's going to take a shot at it.
Yeah. So I lost the big pot. Nothing I could do, unfortunately.
That's 1,200 to 3,500.
That's all right.
And he gets Igor to fold.
I just was checking in. Wanted to hear
I
your
won't
voice.
million. +1 on the PLO stream.
What was this scare?
It's okay. It was on. This is a non-friendly table right now. This is war.
People suggesting that we don't have that many viewers for this one. We're actually filming this as well for TV. There will be an edited, cut down version of this No Limit Hold'em cash game for TV.
She wasn't in the bed again, was she?
Schonbacher has rebought, I assume.
Got to get one of those through.
Locke, by the way, is actually up $8,000.
At least one.
He's in for 40K.
It's such a good feeling though after the first one that.
My guess is Schonbacher's in for 60.
Right.
Like,
Then it's like, then you become a fan.
So he's down 12,000.
Then if you can get a third, that's like. That's some serious stuff right there.
Oh, wow.
Raise to 500. What's up?
Thanks for the support, Daleb guy. I appreciate it, guys. We try. We've got a really good crew behind us as well.
Oh, for the wall, what you call it, the wall of chips?
I just played fantasy poker. I played a hand imaginarily in my head.
I do that sometimes too. It's good to do that.
And then I just bet along with what I had. That was fun.
Schonbacher, you're trying to get some value.
Did you play it well?
If I get paid.
Not going to work, though, as Mike lets it go. Coffee Nub, Mickey Deuces, Natalie Storm, I Want Million, Hypno Beam, Bad Shylock, Pantera, Ray Smuckles, Dallop Guy, Ufrox, Hot Mark, Fuzzy Yoshi, all in the chat room, guys. Thanks for spending your Saturday with us.
Just letting you know, that was the real mothership.
Shuttle? Race of 300.
This is actually a pretty, I'm sorry, this is actually a pretty
Well,
funny
those are the first to
tweet.
Make a betting or checking.
Raouf Malik
decision
tweeted
on
me,
the
says,
flop.
OK Casinos enforce a line, lot of angling, hashtag black lines matter.
800?
That was well played, sir. I Want Millions. It's Sunday morning here in Australia. Good time to stream before I start the grind. Hey, welcome from Australia, man. I love that. Schneider open-ended. Lock with 2 pair. Vierheller with queens. The queens get out of the way. And Schneider makes a straight. Schneider makes the straight. Lock still with bottom 2.
I always wondered if when I'm styling in big hands, if that's a tell or not. It is. It's a tell? Yeah. Is it true or strength?
I can't give you that info. Just let me know.
Tell me later.
Schneider with the tank. Deciding, do I want to raise right now? And if so, how much to?
Raise to 8,000.
Schneider, by the way, one of the few players that does not keep his stacks, his chips in stacks of 20. Looks like there are stacks of 30. So that looks like an $8,000 bet. So $6,000 back to lock.
Can you pull in 3? How much more do you have? Like
Actually, I think it was a $3,000 bet from lock.
5?
Yeah, it's a $3,000 bet from lock and a raise to $8,000
And you just made it.
from Schneider. So it's $5,000 back over to lock. So the pot will be $13,550, $5,000 for lock to call. The problem, of course, if Schneider has what he's repping, which is certainly better than bottom 2 pair, and lock does call this, what does he do on the river? Lock might take a little bit of time to untangle the snafu. I mean, here's the thing. If you're lock, the hands that Schneider is raising with for value all beat 5-3. Sets, the straight, 2 pair are all better than 5-3. question really is, how often does Schneider call the flop and then turn some equity and think, I can bluff with it? Does he ever do this with like a hand like ace-5 of diamonds?
Of the current hand that you are on.
Does he ever do this with like 5-4, maybe 5-4 of diamonds?
If you wish to forfeit your stacks and re-enter. Now is the time to do so. Again, if you wish to forfeit your stacks and re-enter, now would be the time to do that.
Raven Darkheart says raise is too high to induce a call. Lock bet 3,000. The raise is only to 8,000. It's only 5,000 more. Pot's 13,500. 5,000 for him to call. It is a big raise, but I mean not enormous. I mean a min raise would be 6,000.
You've been up for like 3 days playing poker.
Thank you, Johnny. Saturday afternoon's a tough crowd, man. A lot of people are out.
Feels like King 6 24% of the time.
We're competing with college football.
60% of the time and like some odd leftover number less than 20 bluffs. You know I have a hand.
Ryan LaPlante in the chat, man. That's potential MN.
That's the problem. This is where I have a problem. Because you know I can fold.
I mean, we
So
just
can
got
you
home
turn your hand into
an
a
hour
bluff?
before I came here, right?
You know,
I'll probably come down and
4
play
6.
that.
Can you just turn this into a bluff?
I'm losing.
A lead. Yeah, you probably think I have. King Pain. You at least
What's
know I
that?
have King Pain.
I can't hear you.
Huh?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. It's 2-4. 4-6.
Doing all right.
No,
Hanging in.
I didn't.
To quote potential,
I do have enough chips now.
this is a 6 spot for Locke to be in, but
I didn't know you could ever do
I think it's a fold. I really do.
But I have 60-some thousand now.
I mean, it's just a matter of,
Wow.
how many times, how many hands does Schneider have that he is suddenly turning into a bluff?
Can't manufacture stuff that's not there. Right?
There just aren't that many combinations.
That's fun.
King X of diamonds, he might just call with that hand. 5-4 of diamonds.
10, 11.
Plus, then I play in the 1-3 game.
No, I understand.
Right.
You know, one of those kind of hands.
Hand kid put another 10,000 in.
Schneider's capable of doing it, but I don't think he's always doing it when he has like a hand like 5X of diamonds.
Well, the first 10 was his style.
So afraid that he has ace 5 of diamonds, ace king 3 of diamonds.
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
And he's naming the hands that he can beat. There are just a lot more hands that he loses to. Remember, he has blockers to sets of 3s and sets of 5s, and the way the hand played out pre-flop, it's very unlikely that Schneider has a set of kings.
Oh, you did. All right, we'll stop.
That's a nice laydown, though. Not easy to fold 2 pair. That's a good laydown.
You might have had it, maybe? What's that? Do you think you had better than a set? Do you think you had a straight? Or king 6? Could he beat king 6?
Did he call you?
No.
Good.
How much do I owe? 50?
No, is the button right?
I don't know.
I mean, the issue with that particular hand also was that was a blind versus straddle hand. So it opened up a lot more of the 2-pair possibilities that you might not normally think Tom Schneider could have if he was under the gun. Like if he had voluntarily entered the pot,
I'm not going to straddle.
you know, maybe you don't think he has king 5 or king 6 very often, but because he was in the straddle, he could have those hands. So, you know, king 5 you can't beat, king 6 you can't beat, king 3 you can't beat. You can't beat 6-5, you know?
I
don't have to bet that 3K.
I can bet 18, I guess.
As strange as it might be, I mean, he could have actually have a set of 6s even, theoretically.
The thing is, I can.
And while Phil Locke did have blockers to sets of 5s and sets of 3s, there's still a chance that your opponent could have a set of 3s or a set of 5s. And there just aren't that many hands you can beat, you know? It's a nice laydown.
Too many bluffs that way. If he knows, like, you know, I have.
Tit pot, guys.
If he thinks I'm doing that with 3-5, king 3,
150.
king 6, king 5, whatever, you know.
600.
I don't know. Who knows? I know I don't know. That's the first step to learning, I guess.
Schombacher picks up the kings.
Step 2. Go back to step 1.
Wolf was the original raiser. He made it 150 with 10-9 suited. I think this is just a fold against a tough player in a heads-up pot. from what I've seen from Schonbacher, he's just not going to make many mistakes. Post-flop. And if I can, I really want to avoid playing heads up against him, especially out of position. I'm not taking anything away from Wolf. I think Wolf's a very good player as well. It's just, you got to pick your spots. I think this is a spot that I would avoid.
Surprised me when you bet 3 there.
It surprised me too.
I don't blame you. I was like, wow, that's a big bet.
Apparently his communications aren't working real well, so he keeps trying to keeps trying to change the frequency.
Yeah.
Yep. Always trying to find the right station.
You need to get a hand here, Mark.
I'm telling you, I've got the most cards you ever seen.
Yeah, I believe you.
Jay says picking your spots is easy when you can see the cards. 100% true, man. You are totally right. But since I don't know if I'm in Wolf's spot, I can see my cards. I can't see Schonbacher's spot. It's just a simple situation of 10-9 of hearts is a tough hand to play out of position against a really good player. Generally speaking, I want to play. I look for excuses to play hands in position. I look for excuses not to play hands out of position,
I don't even know.
especially against good players.
Call or raise or fold. I don't know what was right. Because I didn't know what you had. So that made it hard.
Now, if I had opened with 10-9 of hearts and a different player had 3-bet me,
I could beat ace, king.
I think it very well might be profitable to call. This is my way of saying I think Schonbacher's a very good player.
3s and 5s? That's what I think, yeah. 3s and 5s. That's
Well, I was in a bad spot. I had a very strong weekend. I just gave up. I gave up a lot. Well, I gave it up too much.
And for the record, I thought he should fold before he lost an additional $3,200.
What's that?
Just putting it out there. Boston Kid 85 says he played that hand as good as he could with King-King.
Checking the turn to get paid on the river.
Still in the tourney?
I'm going to pay him. He's not going for 3 streets here.
Hey, how you doing?
He's going for the river.
Everything good?
But I am a payoff wizard.
I mean, you can kind of break it down. If a guy is a winning player, you can break it down like, okay, where does he win? You know? My guess would be that, you know, for the vast majority of players, guys who are winning players, they win more money when they're in position. They lose more money when they're out of position. T-Legend says, dear commentator, would you play in these cash games if you were not commentating? I'd love to play on Poker Night in America at some point. It's a little bit bigger than I normally play. I'm not going to lie. I generally play 5-10. I'll play 10-20 or 10-25 sometimes. 25-50 with a straddle up to 100 is a big game. And I'm a bit of a bankroll nit.
Decided
I'm not going to lie.
green was the right strategy as opposed to the 1 black.
Doing the 4 green, yeah. Which usually, because I had an even stack, I wouldn't do that. But for some odd reason, I was feeling the green here.
I like it. May the force be with you.
Yeah. I think it's because I had 10 even shuffling chips. So I threw off my even green stack instead of my shuffling
300.
chips.
What's up, Josh? How you doing?
A couple times I had big hands.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah. It is. Good, much better than the first go around. Yeah. So she had a C-section the first time, so yeah, it's been a lot easier.
What about your son? Was he? I heard he was sick. the other day? Had to go to the hospital or something?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, that was a disaster.
Is he all right?
Yeah, he must have just had like some stomach flu. I mean,
That's good. You don't want that 2 days before your other.
right. Yeah. But the next morning he was fine. So it was one of those quick things you get nervous about, and then
Maybe that like rotavirus or something.
yeah.
The genetic code for humans comes out stamped quite durable, and most ailments you self-fix on your own. Visit the doctor or not. It's amazing how human. Wow. That's why we're still around. Some version of us was
Kinda like the cockroaches.
dinosaurs. We're just like, yeah, we're just resilient. Look, even
Even somebody's got a link to the mothership.
Right.
yeah, anybody. I mean, it's tough. Humans are tough.
16.
See the flop one time.
That's no good. I get there, deuce 9.
Deuce 9.
Deuce 9. Just rip it. Make the wheel. I get that.
Have a good one, Wigmaster.
That is correct.
Smart man. Spends a few hours watching poker, and now Saturday night he takes his wife out for dinner.
The 6 and the 8, I'm okay with. But the 22, I know.
You got to keep the house in order. Chris Hansen sitting next to me. You gonna put the mic on, man?
Yeah, but I think you're checking the turn back because you only.
It's already done.
Because, and then you're going for the river value. And,
Are we entering a tramp stamp free zone?
350.
I will. Hey, dude, I'm not gonna bring up the tramp stamp. Okay, I
I
promise.
think I just did.
I will not bring it up. You know what? I think we've beaten that horse.
Speak of beaten, see you later, Ohio State.
Right.
Meanwhile, he's folding sets.
Look at that.
And it's right.
Room for North Dakota to sneak in there now?
No, but I'm happy with the 55-0 win today for the Bison.
Who did they play? Which high school?
Today was Missouri State, who certifiably in the FCS has the worst offense and the worst defense.
Oh, was this the team that hadn't scored a touchdown in like 4 games? Or
Something, yeah, something, or like one, yeah.
Before like 2 weeks ago.
They had 70 put up on them 3 times this year.
So it's not a good team.
No, they got tough times there. Fayetteville, Arkansas, I believe it is.
Chris Hansen, by the way, hosts this show. Who's out there announcing? I thought you were always out there doing.
Nolan's out there. I need to get off my feet for a little bit.
Makes sense.
I don't get to see this part of the game.
Right.
You know?
Right. You get the Chris does. Well, what we will do, and I'm going to pull back the curtain. We will take this show. We have 24 hours of great footage.
Yep.
And they will cut it up.
Oh.
Like a sushi chef might. And find, 8 good shows out of it?
Yeah, 6 to 8 probably.
6 to 8 good shows out of it. So we will, basically eliminate the hands that just suck.
Yeah.
And keep the hands that are good.
Yeah, but at the same time, still keeping enough where you don't have that feeling like all you're seeing is, 10K pots. Sometimes the best played pots are the ones where someone makes a really good laydown or something like that. So,
and I actually think that a lot of times you need some of the backstory to see a hand that's played later on. I mean, we saw Jennifer Tilley yesterday go on a little bit of tilt. So seeing how she tilted off some of that money rather than one hand in a vacuum, I think is really valuable.
All of a sudden where she's playing, and then the next thing you know, she's got like 12K less. You're like, how did that happen?
Right.
So, yeah, you do have to see some of that.
So Chris Hansen, he hosts that show, and that is available. CBS Sports Network. Is it on still Monday nights?
Monday nights, yep, full hours worth of shows. There's always one new and then one rerun every Monday night.
Pretty cool. You can go to PokerNet, PokerNightTV.com for the schedule, I believe, right?
Yep, absolutely.
I think we just revamped our website, right?
PokerNight.com, brand new website.
This is a pretty good flop for Schombacher. This is the kind of flop where I think you can actually get a little aggressive with it because you got some backdoor draws, you got the overcards, you got a gut shot to the absolute stone cold nuts. I mean, it turns out he has the best hand. He doesn't need to do anything. Schombacher bets 400. He's going to take that down. Doesn't need to get really crazy with it. Who at this table has really impressed you?
You know, watching Jack play, the hand that he had with Phil obviously was a tough one to get away from. But I think watching Jack play, and he's played at all 3 of our cash games when we've been here at Rivers Pittsburgh, and he always plays very good poker. Just a super nice guy. I mean, heck, he just said, him and his wife said their second kid.
I just said
48
that.
hours ago. He's got a medical bracelet still on his left hand, on his left
wow,
wrist.
you know what? I didn't even notice that until just now. But I looked at his Twitter feed, and I saw his older son, you know, with his newborn, and I assumed it was a month ago or whatever it was, and found out no, it was Thursday, 48 hours ago. In fact, his wife, I guess, and his baby were just released today.
Just brought him home this morning, yeah.
And he's here playing. So he's had no.
And he did say his in-laws are, his wife's mom and dad are at home.
No, and it's the second child.
Yeah, right.
Which,
the first one, no.
He probably isn't. He probably wouldn't be here if it was the first child. The second child. That said, though, how much sleep has he really had in the last 48 hours?
Not a whole lot. Although when you have kids, you spend some time in the hospital. They will take the baby and put it in the nursery for a little while, so you can get a little bit of rest. But
and in all fairness, the fact that he does have another child, he probably didn't like. I mean, I remember for my first child, I was in the hospital with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I have a child, for the next child, I've got to go home with my kid.
Right, somebody else has to be there. Yeah.
Right.
So we have 4 kids. And so after my wife...
Not much to do in North Dakota, right?
It's eat hot dish and,
Yeah.
And
Jeez, Phil.
After we had our third child, so now we've got 2 other kids at home. And so then when I'd stay home for a couple of days and I would run, get the kids to school and do all that stuff. Now I do a morning radio show, so I'm never at home in the morning. So, it's just pure pandemonium. Because I have no idea what's going on, and I'm trying to get them fed and trying to get them dressed. My wife is way better at that. I mean, she's just better at being a parent in general than I am. But so that was taking me out of my element big time.
Right.
Like, Mom doesn't do it this way. I'm like, I don't care. Just eat your oatmeal. We got to get on the bus. I don't like oatmeal.
That's right.
It's like the early scenes in Kramer vs. Kramer. I'm dating myself, but this is a great movie. If you've never seen this movie, it's you want a tearjerker, a good movie, go see Kramer vs. Kramer. But the early scenes when the wife leaves and he's making breakfast for the kid, and the kid's complaining, and Dustin Hoffman just loses it.
Or kind of like Mr. Mom.
Yeah, same thing.
Where Keaton he's at home and everything is just falling apart, and he gets in the coupon club and all that. Yeah.
Chris Hansen, David Tuckman here. Thanks for spending your Saturday with us. We are in Pittsburgh at the Rivers Casino. Poker Night in America, the cash game. We're actually in the poker room, and you can see poker players behind the players that we're filming. They're playing in the main event. That final table will air on Monday here, the live stream.
That's impossible.
It depends on what's bad about it. If it's the nicotine, then it's still there.
It's impossible, though.
No, they said it's worse.
It's got to be worse.
We're also filming that for the new show we have airing in 2016 called Poker Night, The Tour. Phil Hellmuth, Jason Somerville, Maria Ho, and myself will be working on that.
So in the Poker Night family, I went from the only commentator to all of a sudden the 5th best commentator in one fell swoop.
I think you're selling yourself short. You are selling yourself short. You are, by the way, one of only 2 commentators that have a tramp stamp.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Lon McCarron has a tramp stamp?
Exactly. How do you know that?
Just lucky guess.
Right.
I'd either put it on him or Van Patten.
And you know what? They're going to kill all the steam room businesses. Look at that.
There you go.
You want to put that to your head, run it around the simulators.
Let's do we got to run simulations.
You run simulations, see how the math
you know
works.
What?
Think about that. Think about all the little things they do. The facials where they have the steam in your face.
I was just thinking Jack has.
Somebody needs to call Stapes.
If you have kids and when they
Krampus.
ask, questions, sometimes the why question.
It's addressing Joe Stapleton. Joe is not here, guys. My apologies. I love him too.
You can always say,
nice flop for Igor.
Yeah.
He's got a really big career outside of doing this.
Stapleton?
Yeah.
Stapes is great. I love it. He does a great job. I was thrilled when I talked to Todd about bringing Stapes on when we were in Turning Stone. I was like, yes, I'm all for it. I'd never worked with him, but I was really excited to. We worked together in Florida doing the live stream, and I loved it. Had a really good time.
But you
Igor's
always
hand
know
just
that
getting
they-
better and better. Top pair with a backdoor flush draw, and now he picks up 2 pair.
And what's it called?
Simulation.
Simulation time.
Guidance?
Guidelines to live by? You know,
Rules?
whatever. Parameters, yeah. Like
Boston Kid, lobbying for Cherokee, North Carolina.
Limits.
Play with fire after 9 p.m. or whatever your thing is.
You know, it's one state I've never been to.
Yourself out.
I'd love to get to North Carolina.
You've never been to the state?
Never been to the state of North or South Carolina.
Be late for dinner, whatever the rules are for that house.
And why you didn't have kids, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Pretty
No
much-
problem, Krampus.
Pretty much
shame. I
my
would love to have seen the
whole
kid.
reference point for North and South Carolina is pretty much
Outside
eastbound
playing
and
with fire
down
at 6:30 p.m. with no phone.
Yeah.
Okay,
of Myrtle Beach, but
That's my
yeah.
my basis for most of what I know in life is through movies and TV shows.
wake up in the morning and piss excellence.
Yeah,
Yeah, you might use it later on.
great show, by the way.
Just walking away.
So what is your morning show? Because, I mean, the vast majority of our audience does not get to watch, but I assume, is it available on the internet now?
Yeah, at bob95fm.com. It's a country station.
Bob?
Bob,
Is she aware of the
B-O-B,
mothership? She knows
bob95fm.com.
I like how you put the disclaimer out there. That's a country station. What other station could it possibly be called Bob 95?
There could be, I don't know. There used to be like the Jack.
Wait, you mean it's
stations
not an
around there.
R&B station?
No.
I'm shocked.
No, it's not. Well, so do we do, there's 3 of us in the morning. It's Chris, John, and Jane in the morning, and the 3 of us have been together almost 15 years.
Wow.
And
So you're that morning, the show when I wake up and I still got sleep in my eyes
Yep.
and coffee spills on my leg, and you guys are like telling jokes.
a little bit of everything, not too serious, not too over the top wacky. It's, good. We have a good mix of,
How controversial do you get?
Not very. Our core demo is an 18 to 34-year-old female or 24 to 54-year-old female, so,
It's not like, who's that guy in the morning? Imus in the morning?
Yeah, no.
It's not. We don't go that far.
It's not like that.
Howard
It's not like
Stern,
Howard
no.
Stern, no. I always say that, not taking away anything from those people you mentioned, they're great, but I always think it's a lot harder to keep a 36-year-old mother of 3 who is, working, raising kids, doing all that. Keeping her entertained is a lot easier than talking about dick jokes and pornography to keep a guy entertained, or sports.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
I'll put it this way.
That's how we do.
I look at my wife, as, okay, a mother. My wife is in her 30s. A mother. Keeping her entertained now, far harder than keeping her entertained 6 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
Who's smarter, you?
And then it comes into, they'll turn off, they'll switch from the station if they hear something that they don't
You know what?
deem
That
appropriate
just
for their
shows you're the
kids,
smarter one.
they're gone and they might never come back,
Right. Yeah.
so.
Got you. But do you have like cool like dating segments or
Simulations with her?
fun stuff like that?
Yeah, every once in a while we'll do, like for Halloween, we did a week of celebrity trick-or-treating where I dressed up as different characters. Then we went to like the mayor's house and one of the TV guys' house and the head football coach's house and that kind of stuff. And actually had a day proclaimed in the city of Fargo, where we live, Fargo, North Dakota. Actually had a day proclaimed for our morning show because we went to the mayor's house and jokingly he didn't have any candy and I said, well, could you at least proclaim today Chris, John, and Jane Day? Yeah, he kind of laughs or whatever. Like 9:30 that morning I get a call and they're like, yeah, you have a certificate waiting for you at the mayor's office.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Mine's pretty good. Though.
So,
What was the? How did you get your name first?
how did I get my name first? I don't know. It just kind of rolled. Chris, John, and Jane. I don't know. Jane, Chris, John. I don't know.
I mean, it rolls because you're used to saying it. You've done it for
Sure.
15 years. But
Yeah.
my assumption would be if you did 15 years of John, Jane, and Chris, it would be.
It is alphabetical. Good point.
It actually is not. Chris, John, and Jane.
Chris, Jane, and John would be alphabetical, but
A spatial.
Chris would be
Oh, I see.
first.
We're just randomly alphabetical. We'll be alphabetical first one, but not the second one.
Kind of weird thing that I might outpace her on.
Right. Who cares what the second letter is?
But like, on the whole.
Okay, fair enough. What's your favorite part of doing the show?
For like going in.
Favorite part is just hanging out with 2 people that I get along with that I've known forever. I mean, it's like the best job in the world because you get up and you talk about what's going on in the world. We drink coffee.
Do you do it 5 days a week?
5 days a week, yeah. Monday through Friday. I get up every day about 4:45, get to work about 4:45.
So are you leaving here though to be on a Monday morning?
No, I have Monday off. I had Friday off and Monday off, and then I'll fly home Monday night, go back in the air on Tuesday.
So is it just the John Jane show?
It is.
Without you?
Which, I mean, let's be honest, nobody wants to listen to that.
Right. I'm not going to watch that. Do you take call-ins as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
I've got to get the phone number. I'm going to call in.
Yep.
Has your tramp stamp come up on the show?
It has
numerous
different
times. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. You guys are that close. That has to come up. Yeah. No doubt.
All right, here we go. Now we're getting going with some poker.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Schonbacher is just itching to try to get some of that money back from Locke, don't you think?
I think he's a pro. I mean, I don't think he thinks that way.
No?
Jimmy's right there.
I know it's human nature to think that way, but I think he's a pro.
Well, now look at this, though. Phil Locke doesn't have ace, king of diamonds. What he has is 3 cards he got dealt.
Is that just a dead hand?
I think it's dead, even if I wanted to play it.
That is a dead hand, yes. And because there's already action, it's not even like a misdeal. Somebody'd be like, "Oh, misdeal." No, since there was action, you just got your tough luck. Oof, too bad. It happens. Queen 4-3. This is going to go check, bet, fold.
Wow.
Very easy. I don't even think Schonbacher had to bet. He did, but kind of reached for chips.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah, he used the force and just told him to fold.
We got a really
I'm in there, I'm making it 2,200.
Question about Fargo. And by the way, if anybody here has questions for Chris Hansen or Fargo or a morning radio show,
Your chips are lucky right now.
this is where you should ask. Are you leaving?
No.
Okay. So quick question for you about Fargo, because for the vast majority of our audience, including myself, we only know Fargo from the movie.
And now the TV shows.
Right.
Which are ridiculous.
Yeah, I have not watched any of the TV shows, and I will not, in all likelihood.
Hopefully not.
I'm very picky with what I watch on TV.
Okay.
How much time do you have,
Fair enough.
But I did watch the movie.
Yep.
Movie I thought was fantastic.
Wood chippers.
Yeah,
I know this place where you can get laid and get some pancakes.
Right. Who doesn't? I mean, is there anything more than life than pancakes and getting laid? But
Like 10 grand through, he's all pumped up.
Ace 10-9. I have a set of 9s for Mike. This is actually interesting. I'm going to stop my stupid story.
Yeah, look
stupid
at the flop for Tom Schneids as well.
Yeah, Schneids is he's got an open-ended straight draw. We don't know what Schonbacher's other hand is, but we know Schneider's straight draw is no good anymore.
6.
Checks through on the flop. No action whatsoever.
Look at that. I thought for sure Schneider, board pairs.
Well, the board pairs, it's like now, just really hard, to get any of the action. And by the way, now it's on the turn. You only got 1 card to get through there. Fargo, widely regarded as best show currently on TV. I just heard that from one of our producers. I can wholeheartedly tell you that whatever is widely regarded, I will not like. There's very few shows that I Breaking Bad, highly acclaimed. I love the show.
Bob Silverose says Fargo TV show is worth your time. It absolutely is. Look at everybody.
Okay, wow. Well, you know what?
So
maybe I will, after they get like 4 seasons in, it'll be on our list, and we will binge watch through it.
Yeah.
Right,
we need a new show.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton, Billy Bob. The first season was so good, and then now the second season is and they're all standalone. But the second season now is like a flat, like it goes back in time, so it's in the early 70s. And
is the TV show related to the movie?
No, I mean, as far as characters and any of that, none of it is related. What is related is the dark comedy of where someone's getting murdered and you're laughing. Like, it's like, oh yeah, man, can you believe, that kind of thing.
I had top 2.
Okay.
That was a really bad place to
No, you should
I'm,
check it out.
well, I you know what? I might check it out. Overpair here for Igor. Top pair for a lock. And a gut shot. Actually, a double gutter from Mike Vierheller. This is a good hand. This is like a really hidden straight draw with backdoor hearts.
See, and I love that you talk about the backdoor flush draw because I play that way all the time and people think I'm crazy. I'm a losing player, don't get me wrong, but
remember, it's not PLO. Backdoor draws are much more valuable in PLO than they are in No Limit Hold'em. That said, it adds 1.5%.
Sure.
It gives you something else to go on. There are less blanks. You know what I mean? A 6 obviously makes his hand. A 10 makes his hand.
But now all of a sudden, if another heart pops up, well, hey.
Right. If it's a 3 of hearts, it's not a blank.
Now, in this case, obviously, Locke would have a bigger flush in that situation, but if the flush did come. But nothing on the turn.
Yeah, and now the 9-7 obviously shrivels up a little bit because while the 6 is still a very good card, the 10's not as good because so there's a lot of higher straights that could beat you. Dalib guy saying backdoor flush is 4%. Oh, look, he hits it.
Hey, isn't that nice?
He hits it, and Locke makes 2 pair.
I think Iafi should have bet the turn. You find out probably quickly somebody else has a king at that point, but they all check the turn around.
Yeah, Locke is going to bet 3,200, and my guess is the way this hand played out, you know, you're losing the queen-9, you're losing the ace-queen. Neither one of those hands are very likely in Locke's range.
You can't fold here.
No, you're never folding. It was.
Yeah.
I'm just questioning whether he should be raising or not, and I think he probably should raise. He's just going to call, though.
Straight.
Look at Phil. Phil's like, what? Straight?
Whoa, what?
What? So getting back to Fargo, my ridiculous question.
You in the tourney trap?
What? I don't even know what my question was. Old age. I don't know. No, I mean, I don't. What is Fargo like? I mean, is it as quirky? I mean, obviously, there's not dark comedy murders going on.
No, Fargo.
But is it quirky?
I mean, yeah, we got.
I mean, when the movie came out, and people talk about the movie, is it something that you guys, talk about with pride?
Well, it is because it's something that part of the Fargo movie and like also now the TV franchise is the personality of where we live. That it is we're almost like friendly to a fault, and like is so wanting to please somebody that you lose consciousness of I'm just going to be so darn nice and I don't even know why. And I think that is very representative of where we live. So I would say living there is great. Raising kids there is great. I mean, and this sounds terrible, but when there's a murder, it's a big deal. Like, I mean, if we have, 3, 4 a year, it's a big deal. And we had one.
How big is Fargo?
Fargo and then Moorhead, Minnesota, just separated by the Red River. The metropolitan area has about 150,000, 160,000 people.
4 murders sounds like a lot.
And that's that's per year. Yeah, that'd be about.
I mean, I live in Pasadena. Right? We got about 100,000 people in Pasadena. I don't think we have 4 murders a year. Maybe we do.
600.
Somebody check out the criminal records of Pasadena.
To the Google machine we go.
Yeah. I would assume Fargo is safer.
I guess so. In the wintertime, don't get me wrong, in the wintertime it's hell. I mean, it's tough.
Big turn card for Wolf. He picks up a double gutter to go along with a flush draw. Real interesting turn card. And this is the kind of turn card where Wolf will raise if he thinks he can get it through.
I got to give Wolf credit after winning the sit and go yesterday and sitting down with his 10K from that and then going through, started out very good, but then fell down quickly. And then coming back and playing today, this is somebody that obviously has got some pretty good game that's, wanted to be a part of this. So I'm going to give him credit. He not just won the sit and go and then it's like, okay, that was all I was going to do, that,
1900.
And he's one of those players that if he senses weakness and he's picked up a big draw like this, he will jump all over that. And he shows the 5-7 of diamonds.
Oh, I hit it too.
And maybe more importantly, I think that he and Phil Locke have a real bromance brewing.
Locke actually invited him to stay with him in his guest house.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I smell sitcom. I don't know about you. Maybe something we could put on like National Geographic or.
Can you get us some new players?
Yeah, Jennifer Tilly, Phil Locke with Dan Wolf, Clarence, whatever you want to call him.
Love that
in the guest house.
If you could give yourself a new name, what would it be?
Two-handed wager. You're supposed to announce.
Spear.
I like Mark.
That's my middle name already.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I like Mark. You know, and I think here's why this.
Wait, you would go. I mean, you're going to go from Chris to Mark.
I like Mark. It's just it's 4 letters. It's.
But I mean, you can choose any name you want. Well, this is an interesting one. Schonbacher actually gets top pair with a pretty good kicker against Schneider's trip 4s.
How you doing?
I just find that peculiar that out of the
Really?
Ace of Hearts, not a great card for Schneider. Might kill his action just a little bit. The fact that he's still firing is going to give Schonbacher a little bit of pause.
I chopped in half like immediately.
But it also could be good for Schonbacher if he was playing ace whatever, and he just hit on the turn.
Good for me.
Then Schonbacher would be thinking, okay, I might be able to. No, I've got those reversed. Schneider has the 4, and then
Right.
Schonbacher's saying, okay, so did he hit the ace or does he have a 4?
Well, it's one of those things where Schneider's not slowing down. So if you're Schonbacher and you're looking at this going, okay, the guy bet the flop, no big deal. I called.
Standard.
Now the ace comes and he's still firing. So, I mean, did he hit the ace in the turn maybe? I mean, was he raising with ace jack and now I'm good and now it's an ace, or is he trying to rep it? Just it caused Schonbacher a little pause. It's just not a great card for Schneider to get action. I find it bewildering that in the universe of names, and I'm saying you can name yourself.
Yeah.
You choose Mark.
Mark.
I might choose Siegfried.
Ziggy? Can we call you Ziggy?
You
for
can call me
short?
Ziggy for short. Not everybody though. You could. Like I hate the nickname Davey.
Did you get that a lot?
No, never. Nobody called my nickname growing up was always Tuck.
Tuck. Yeah.
But the one guy who calls me Davey, the only guy who calls me Davey really, and I've just always let him get away with it, probably because he's bigger than me, and I don't know why, it just always worked, is Greg Mueller, FBT.
Yeah.
He's always, I mean, I've known the guy
I'd let
for...
him pretty much just say whatever.
We've been friends for 10 years. He's a great guy. I played hockey with him. A lot of respect for his game, and as a person, I just think he's a cool guy. He's always called me Davey, and I hate it. But from him, it's okay. So you can call me Ziggy.
Huh.
Fargo and Pasadena murder rates are virtually identical. I find that shocking. So the Fargo and Pasadena murder rates are. Okay, what about the weather? Since the murder rates are identical, let's bring up the weather, because I'm curious what the average temperature is in Fargo and versus Pasadena. Give us like a 3-month, like over the summer, in January, and then maybe in springtime or fall time, something like that. Thank you.
Oh boy.
Krampus says that Mueller calls Mattisau Mikey. Maybe he just adds, the
he likes the
EY for everything.
That's a hockey thing, isn't it? That's a team. Like
I think sports is you always get a nickname. Usually it's your last name.
Yeah.
And me being Tuckman, Tuck was just very easy.
I want you to ponder this, Phil.
So, okay, why Mark just clean? Four letters?
Clean 4 letters.
Why
simple.
not Bo?
That's not enough. But Mark is like, there's no way to misspell Mark. Mark isn't
You
short.
can. Mark with a K or Mark with a C. Because my middle name is Mark with a C.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No.
Wow. Isn't there a Mark who's a designer who's a C, like a clothing designer?
Probably. I don't know.
Mark Jacobs or something like that. But I don't know. Mark
you would specialize in the clothing designers more than I would.
Here is, and this also says maybe more about me than you want to know too. But I also used to back in the day have the biggest man crush on Mark McGrath.
Who is Mark McGrath?
Lead singer of Sugar Ray.
Decided to put a K in the word knife.
Yeah, I know. Shocking, but true.
See, I mentioned my man crush earlier on today, and I said it was Nick Schulman.
Nick Schulman, the poker player. Yeah.
I said if I had to have man crush,
First time in 13 years.
Yeah, apparently. Brian is pointing out that is actually more embarrassing than the tramp stamp.
Nolan, you look sharp today, buddy. You lost a lot of weight. You
Wow.
lost a lot of weight, too.
We continue playing here in Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh, guys. Poker Night in America. We've got about, call it an hour and 10 minutes left in tonight's show. We're back at it tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Let us know, what would your name be? Raven Darkheart, what would your name be? Natalie Storm.
I know how that goes.
Dallop Guy. If you could pick a name, clearly our friend Dan Wolf chose Clarence, which I like.
I like Clarence.
With his kind of like southern twang, it works.
Clarence and Cletus together, like wow.
See, I would go with Spear
You know how many else?
or
You guys beat
Siegfried.
me? I checked.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with Mark. I just like it.
Ace 10-10, Schneider with 2 pair.
Check
When
it
I
out.
say 2 pair, a better 2 pair than Igor's 2 pair. Does it bother you when commentators say that's 2 pair?
Oh, and yeah. Not really.
Some people just get just inflamed about that.
Now, this is where you're like, oh, he's got 3 pair.
Wow, his hand's improved now. He's got a full house.
Actually, no. Igor's
Igor's hand. Yeah, Igor's hand is, his 5 does play.
That always gets me. It's like, oh, he's got 3 pair now. Well, come on. And Tommy Schneitz, I mean, this guy is, and he says all the time that I'm not a very good no limit player. I'm more of a, pot limit or Omaha. I'm like, come on, like, how long are you going to keep that up?
Well, he's a poker player. I actually don't think
did you go to
that he certainly is not a great no limit player. I mean, this is not a guy who, if he was playing with 6 guys like Jack Schombacher and Dan Wolf every day, he would win.
Right.
But he's a poker player, so he adapts. And I think poker players, especially guys who play mixed games, if you play those games, it will help your no-limit game, and you'll get better and better as you go forward.
And I'm pretty sure all of his bracelets are all in mixed games as well.
Yeah. He won the WSOP Player of the Year one year.
Like 3 out of 4 events right away?
Just ridiculous, yeah. Okay, so let's see. So Lucky Invasion 85 says Giovanni. Mr. Tucker Lucas says my name would be Applebee's. Jay Smoke says my name would be Smoke.
I like Morris Wanchuk Phineas.
If you went to college.
Phineas, which is my son's name.
The answer I got.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's my son's name.
No, it's not after the cartoon, right?
No, it is after a book called A Separate Piece.
Okay.
There's a very good book called A Separate Piece written by John Knowles. One of my favorite books growing up, and my wife's as well, and we always love the name. So my son, my 2.5-year-old son, his name is Phineas. With that exact spelling, Morris. So I don't know if you actually knew that or just put that out there. Either way, it's pretty cool. YOLO Swag. I see what he did there.
You see what he did there?
I see. That's funny.
What you did there, I see it.
That's funny.
He's trying to get you to say something bad.
Yeah. Well done, YOLO. You only live once.
Not all Americans.
Yeah.
Right.
His eggs are like, he reads poetry to his eggs, for example. I mean, I'm not sure if he does. I doubt he does. Yeah. But the farmers probably did.
Dallop guy says Vader.
Yeah.
We named our we just got a kitten about a month ago. We did name the cat Darth Vader.
The cat's actually named Darth Vader?
Yeah.
Is it a black cat better?
It is completely black.
Okay, good.
Completely
Does
black.
it make a lot of noise when it breathes, or is it pretty silent?
No, but my kid now will do the Darth Vader sound. Walks around. And he wakes up in the morning and runs out of the room looking for him. Morris knew that. Apparently he watches Live at the Bike, which I commentate on in L.A. So, cool either way, though.
I don't know, you got me
Yeah,
thinking.
Phineas, it's always been one of my favorite names. And I would have chosen that if I hadn't already given that name to my son.
Now, you just have one.
Just one, so
So we went into the hospital when we had our first child, and we were just convinced it was going to be a girl. So we didn't even conceive like a boy's name going into the hospital when we were having our baby. We were so convinced it was going to be a girl, had the name picked out. And we got to the hospital, and my wife said, what if it is a boy? I said, well, I don't know. What some boys' names you like? And the name we actually settled on, if it was going to be a boy, was Reese. Reese, right? So, turns out we were right. It was a girl, name or whatever. Second kid comes around.
I mean, Reese is one of those names you can go both ways.
See, and and I don't really dig that as a guy named Chris, but not Christopher, just Chris. I don't like names that can be shortened or that can be changed into something else anyway. So then when we had our second kid, Reese didn't even come into the equation.
Did it pass by?
Yeah, like how does that happen? It was a name that if that child would have come out a boy for the first time around, that would have been Reese. But then on our second kid, like Reese wasn't even in the picture.
Right.
How does that happen?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm not close.
I don't understand the inner workings of your marriage.
Well, that makes 2 of us.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3.
Yeah, we have chosen names for our second child. Should we be blessed with a second child someday?
Okay.
So apparently, we found out that Fargo and Pasadena, California, where the 2 of us reside, have identical murder rates, which I find surprising. But apparently, strangely enough, the temperature average is different. So we'll just look at the lows. So, should we look at lows or highs? The average low or high?
Let's go lows.
Okay, so lows. Fargo in January has an average low of 0.
Yeah.
Pasadena's average low This might surprise people because a lot of people think Southern California is always warm. 48 degrees. That's the average low in Pasadena. In April, Fargo warms up to a toasty 33.
Phil, what's your status?
Pasadena, 53? That's not right. What are you?
I wouldn't question the Brian.
These are wrong. It's just plain. In April, 53 degrees? No. Anyway, but we see what's going on. Fargo in July, though, the low 60, while Pasadena's low is 64. Are we looking at the mountains of Pasadena?
All right, Mark, go get it.
Okay. www.usclimatedata.com is a stupid website. Average annual snowfall, 50 inches in Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any skiing or snowboarding up there?
We have a small hill that's about an hour away, and then like a little bigger hill that's about 2 hours away. But then, like if you're around our area, if you want to get any kind of that, you have to go like North Shore of Minnesota, like up on Lake Superior.
I'm going to
north of Duluth.
I'm going to bring out my ignorance in geography in a second after we see this hand because we got a big one developing. Smith with queen, Schonbacher with ace king. We'll see a flop. There's a king. Schonbacher just doing well at this ace king versus queens thing.
And now I haven't seen many hands that Pegasus has been playing.
No, he's played pretty ABC and hasn't played a ton. And
it looked to me like a lot of the players were really pounding on him, is what it looked like.
Yeah, he's. I mentioned it earlier when Todd was doing the commentary. I do believe that Smith is going to have a somewhat difficult time winning in this kind of lineup.
Absolutely,
it's a tough lineup. This is a tougher lineup than we saw yesterday for sure.
And I think obviously he's got a circuit win to his credit.
Numerous ones.
Yeah, so you've got obviously a very good tournament player.
Right, but you're going to play against a lesser quality of player.
The average player at a tournament table, yes, is a lot easier to overcome than a table like this would be.
Yes,
today.
for sure. And by the way, I think his ABC kind of tighter style would have worked yesterday much better than it works today.
So Schonbacher, and we've seen Phil do this too, just put out this just massive bet and make the other person,
Well, he's not really. I mean, he's betting what Smith has. Smith only has about $3K in front of him. The pot's already 5,000, so he's actually betting less than the pot.
You're hoping for your opponent to make a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, this is a situation where it's a somewhat wet board, connected. I mean, there's straight draws, there's flush draw there. The pot's 5,000 already. What are you going to do? Bet 2,100 and then save the last 9? There's really no reason not to move all in. Some people get confused because they'll see that they go, "Wow, he bet 10,000." He's really only betting 3,000 because that's all he can
Sure, he's
bet.
effectively putting Smith all in.
Smith's got to decide: do I want to play for all the chips in front of me right now? I can beat. I mean, he can be a flush draw. The problem is though, the hands that he can beat. A lot of the hands that Schonbacher might be doing this with would contain the queen of diamonds in as their hands. So you got to start looking at the hand that you have, and you can eliminate some of the range that your opponent might have, some of his bluffing range.
Sure.
I mean, you can't beat ace king, you can't beat aces, you can't beat king jack, you can't beat a set. Hands you can beat like ace queen with the, ace queen of diamonds. Hands that might have picked up some sort of a draw or are a flush draw would have the queen of diamonds in their hand, so that's going to eliminate some of the range that you can beat now.
And you take what you have and you're like, okay, does he have him out kicked with the king? Is he playing king queen? If he's
it's a 3-bet pot, so it's unlikely.
Right. And if you have a player who's been playing pretty straightforward as Smith has been,
right?
He's not going to get really probably crazy with Jack 9 suited or something like that.
No, I mean the player that's more likely to have Jack 9 in this spot would be Schonbacher. He's got the queen, so he's got like straight blockers, but he's also got a lot of like the bluff hands. I talked to Scott Seaver about this actually when I did commentary this summer of the one drop. Some of the best I had Jason Somerville and Scott Seaver in the booth with me. And I just sat, I was like taking notes. They were great. And Seaver brought up this concept of like the bluff cards that would be in your opponent's range. And I think the Queen of Diamonds is one of those cards that would theoretically be in a lot of Schonbacher's bluffs. I mean, I don't think Schonbacher has nothing, you know what I mean? I think he either has like a good draw or a hand that beats queens. We've seen nothing up till now that would indicate that he'd suddenly just like, you know, I'm spewing off with ace four spades. He's got a lot of hungry mouths to feed. He's not going to just throw money away. I mean, he's definitely capable of bluffing, though, and we've seen that.
Yeah, I agree with Natalie Storm there. Oh,
there's the calls.
Phil does look like he is asleep. I haven't seen him move in like 3 minutes.
No, he's talking to the mothership right now.
Look, he's not even reacting.
He's talking to the mothership.
The head is not moving. I know we just had a call off for the entire stack here, but oh, there his hand is moving. He's awake.
Yeah, Smith needed a 10 or a queen. And
oh, back to the pocket.
Good, how are you?
3 of clubs did not qualify as a 10 or a queen.
You know, Tom Schneider is a wise man. Let me tell you a story about Tom Schneider. He said something that I had never thought about before, and ever since then, I've looked at him differently. Schneider is famous for drinking his beer over ice.
We talked about this earlier. And not even good beer, like Michelob Ultra.
Right. And you know what his thought process is behind it? He said there are 2 liquids that don't get put over ice.
Oh, whatever.
One of them's beer, and the other one's milk. He's like, every other liquid we will put on ice, and nobody seems to think it's odd at all. He goes, but the second you would pour milk over ice or beer over ice, people think it's weird. He's like, well, why do those 2 liquids get, you know, we put tea on ice, we put coffee on ice, we put soda on ice, we put juice on ice.
Looks like 7.
I just don't know why you'd want to water down.
Well, because he said he just wants to keep it cold. Why would you water down Pepsi?
7, yeah. So
you know? It still tastes like Pepsi, even though it has ice in it.
Yeah, I guess the logic makes sense. I never really thought about it that way. We do put, by the way, I mean, I like the dudes drink White Russians.
I love White Russians with vanilla vodka. Change your life. Yeah.
I don't know if it's changed my life, but
it might. I mean, I don't know what your life status is.
Right. I mean,
if it's teetering in one direction or another.
It could teeter. Who knows?
I love White and Black Russians with vanilla vodka.
Fantastic.
Wine on ice. Yeah, you don't put wine on ice either.
I mean, some people do, but nobody I want to hang out with. 10 high flop, a lot of hearts out there. And for Mike, that means really good things. Unfortunately for him, he's got no action. Locke took 1 shot at it, and I...
Shut her down.
Well, I think he was... Yeah, he's okay. I thought maybe he would shut down for sure. But no, another heart, I thought maybe he would try to take a shot at it.
I just gave it to him. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think the river's the king of hearts. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Locke took 1 shot. Mike tried to check it back, tried to get induced the bluff, but never going to bite. Hey, I wanted to illustrate my complete ineptitude when it comes to geography. How far are you from Montana, Big Sky?
About, what was it, about 7 hours, 8 hours to get to the Montana border?
Okay, I mean, you're the next state over, but I didn't realize Fargo. So Fargo's on the eastern border of North Dakota.
But if you look at Montana, I mean, Montana is really not mountainous until you get to the middle of it. So even, you know, it's a good 12-hour drive to get to, like,
Big Sky.
Big Sky, Montana, or to Red Lodge, Montana is another really good little spot.
I've never, apparently it's 13 hours and 51 minutes, or 891 miles, depending on how fast you drive. Yeah, I've never been to... I've been to Whistler. I've been to Utah.
Yep.
I've been to Colorado. I've snowboarded in New Mexico, Lake Tahoe, and I've never gone to Big Sky. And I kind of want to go.
Yeah, the place Red Lodge, Montana, is a small town, and there's just one area that's there, and it's it's very that much old school feeling of like the little chalet down at the bottom, and the big patio where everyone sits out and enjoys themselves in the sun, and there's one road to get up to it, and then the cars are lined for like a mile, and you got to get on. It's just I love Red Lodge, Montana, and the downtown area of Red Lodge is.
How good is the skiing and the snowboarding?
Good. See, the thing is that
is it the Rockies?
Yeah, that's the Rockies.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's the northern end of the Rockies in Montana. The thing is that it doesn't matter how big really the hill is, because like where we live, if we go 45 minutes or an hour away, you have a run you can take. Now, is it a very challenging run? No, but you spend 2/3 of your time in a lift and 1/3 of your time coming down the hill. But if you go to Montana or Park City or wherever you go, you spend like a quarter of your time on the lift, and you probably spend the rest of the time actually, you're still going down. But is there anything that's like going to kill you kind of action? No.
Right. One of my favorite places to go snowboarding and skiing, somebody just tweeted and asked me that, was Jackson Hole.
Never been there.
Oh, that's a great, you want to bring the family. Great place. I mean, it's a lot of fun. They have a little square there, and they've got these horns built around. I mean, you can Google a picture of it. A lot of fun. Huh. Jackson Hole is a great little vacation area, and you can go with your friends, in your 20s or 30s, and you can also go with a family, and it's a lot of fun. I've been there in the summer and the winter, and loved it.
How much did you do yesterday? Are we all money? Are we all money?
Once again, thanks so much for spending your Saturday with us, guys. Chris Hansen, David Tuckman here. So apparently, based off of the climate website, Pasadena is colder than I thought it was. We do have mountains behind us, and maybe they're like measuring the temperature in the mountains.
Well, no, and somebody had pointed this out earlier, and I'm sorry it slipped away. I'd read it and it slipped away in the message, but that's the overnight low. So that's the low at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So
you know what it is? People don't realize California, specifically, I mean, Southern California is a very desert-like climate.
Yeah.
So the temperature difference, and people that travel out there, the first time I went out there, I didn't realize the temperature difference between 2 in the afternoon and even 6:37 at night when the sun goes down is very large.
Sure.
And there have been numerous times when I first moved out there, you get caught. You'll go out and you're hot, so you're wearing shorts and a T-shirt. You'll be out.
Next thing you know, it's 50 degrees.
Next thing you know, exactly, it's 55 degrees and you're freezing your ass off.
Yeah. It's like being in Las Vegas, anytime like after November 1st when you go to Las Vegas, I mean, it's freezing. Like, it's cold.
Yeah.
During the day, if you go outside, you might get to 50, 55 degrees, but at night, you're down there right around 32 degrees.
Quick glance at the 6 players that are in this pot.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we got $1,800 in there, 6 ways. And Wolf has the best hand right now.
You're happy we're not playing PLO?
But Locke's going to bet his 2 pair.
The last hand, we're going to play PLO. One hand of
Apparently the last hand of the day, they're going to play PLO.
How many more hands? Are we quitting soon, or are we...
I don't know when it's over. But he just said the last hand.
I think we still have a while left, right? Yeah, we still got about 40 minutes left. 45 minutes left, guys. They're talking about last hand, but they're going to play for another 45 minutes or so.
I understand. You're a truck driver?
And Locke's bet gets through. And he wins that one. But yeah, that's one of the reasons, people sometimes say to me, don't you miss the seasons? And I go, no, not at all. Because I think, at night, you can wear jeans and a sweater.
Right.
And a sweatshirt, because it's cold. And if I really want to see the snow, I can drive 3 hours or, to Mammoth.
Like, get really
Mammoth is...
up into the hills.
Yeah, Mammoth is, some of the best skiing and snowboarding in the world. It's great. We have Big Bear about an hour and a half from us, so it's not, which is kind of a smaller mountain. It's a very small hill.
Now, let me ask you a question, living in California. Do you, constantly live in the fear that someday California is going to break off from the United States and fold into the ocean?
No.
Do earthquakes freak you out at all? Because it freaks me out. Big time freaks me out.
No, not at all. I mean, I've obviously I've been there for a while. I moved to California after I graduated college, spent 1 year in Manhattan.
What's the deal? We're playing till 8:30.
Then moved to California, then moved to London, and then back to California. So I've experienced numerous earthquakes. And for the most part, it's one of those things where you're like,
We'll give ourselves
you kind of
ample
look
time.
disbelievingly like, why am I moving? Are we in the middle of and it's over.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, oh, was that an earthquake? And then you find out, oh yeah, that we had a 4.8.
Okay.
No matter where you are, I mean, I don't think there's any place in the world that's immune to natural disasters.
No.
So,
But
I mean,
the difference is, though, is that a lot of them, like where we live, obviously the cold weather in the wintertime and the snowstorms, we have tornadoes and things like that too, but you have some semblance of warning to it. But with an earthquake, like a really big, massive earthquake that would, you have no warning that it's coming right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Like if they say there's a blizzard coming with 18 inches of snow and it's going to be, whatever temperatures below and you could die if you go outside, well, you just stay inside. You just don't go anywhere.
Both players, the gut shot here. Mike with the backdoor spades.
That's what I've never got about living in that part of the world.
Right, I can understand that. And one of my best friends actually came out and experienced an earthquake, and now they'll never come out again because they were so frightened.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I've never... I mean, I get the no way to predict thing.
Yeah.
Although scientists apparently have studied and are trying to figure out ways to better predict an earthquake.
I'm sure there's got to be, as science gets better. I mean, heck yeah, you should be able to.
Is there a way to figure out, okay, an earthquake could happen, be aware. You try to be prepared as possible, and we've got emergency backpacks.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're packed and ready to go.
Yeah, we've got 2 emergency backpacks, one for me and one for my wife. Mine has room for the kid to be in.
Wow.
It's got we've got enough food and water for a while. We've got a generator. So you be prepared and hopefully you don't need it.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully it just sits there and in 5 years everything that I put in there is no good anymore and I've got to replace it.
Suddenly it's an emergency situation and you're wearing the like a One Direction T-shirt.
Right.
6-7 years later, like why do I even have this? Running around.
Why would I ever have a One Direction
T-shirt?
T-shirt?
You probably liked them at one point. No.
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's just me. Maybe 5 years from now, my One Direction T-shirt won't fit me anymore.
I'm trying to figure out why I ever have a One Direction T-shirt. Now, like my wife might have a New Kids in the Block T-shirt.
I have one of those.
You have one of those?
I have New Kids in the Block T-shirt, and what else do I have in the collection? I have an NSYNC Backstreet Boys T-shirt. It's really coming around, isn't it? You're looking at me like
No, I mean.
I was very just the other night. My wife and I turned on New Kids on the Block, and we were playing it for our kids, and they were laughing.
Right.
They think it's funny because they look at those videos from the 90s, like we would look at videos from late 70s or early 80s. They're like, wow, where we look at it doesn't really. I don't think it was that long ago, but it was.
No, it doesn't seem right, but it was very long ago. Do you have a Sugar Ray T-shirt?
No, I don't think I ever went and saw Sugar Ray live. As much as I love them, I never saw them live.
I do think I have a really old. And the thing's got holes, but I will not let my wife get rid of it. I have a super old Beastie Boys T-shirt.
Ooh, nice.
That I kind of want to frame it.
You know what? I've been saving up a lot of T-shirts. I want to make one of those T-shirt quilts or have one made for me. I would never do it on my own. I have no idea.
My wife, my mother makes T-shirt quilts.
Cool. Well,
so if you want, she'll do it for you.
I have a stack, of old concert T-shirts or high school basketball T. Just a weird collection of T-shirts that.
According to a couple of the chatters, my mother is fantastic in bed. But not only is my mother fantastic in bed, she will quilt you a mean T-shirt quilt.
Jeez,
this is a 73-year-old woman that has some talent.
With my big blind.
Yeah.
Or your straddle.
Or my straddle. Yeah, any one of those.
Either one of them.
Anything where I put chips in the pot. Just 2 of us? Phil and me? Yeah. I'm in danger.
Krampus, I like your question. Wondering if our morning radio show would ever be worried about being featured on Opie and Anthony's Jocktober. You familiar with this? Where they just make fun of other radio shows?
No, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Gravy Main, by the way, good catch. I did miss that.
Not by name. Maybe.
I saw the one gut shot, and for whatever reason, I thought there was another gut shot, but there was not. You are correct. Coffee Nub, we are paying attention to the chat. We're also paying attention to the game.
Lucky ones.
If I give you my number, will you call me when you guys play below?
Just take
It's
it
not
easy.
every day that I get Chris Hansen in the booth.
Well, and this is probably a one and only, but you know, just take it 83. Yeah, the dealers do get tips. This game isn't raked, which the players really like, that the casino doesn't take any rake off of the game. And so how it works whenever there's a new dealer that pushes in, the very first pot is the tip pot, and the first card in the on the flop corresponding to one of the players, then they pay $50.
Right. So if let's just say, for example, the first card is a 3. The player in seat number 3 would tip the dealer.
Yep.
And I think they're fairly generous. What do they give? Like $75 or $100?
It's $50 every time, but they can give more, and some players have, and some players I've seen, not today, but I know some players will give. You know, if they do win a huge pot, they'll give more to the dealer at that point. But
so we lose Dan Wolf, by the way. I'm surprised he left. But we lost Wolf. We lost Cletus. But we get Richard Lacrone, who buys in for $5K. Igor with the ace-10. Yes, running gut shots will be the new thing in poker. I like that, Dalip guy. Jennifer Tilleyberry is playing in the tournament right now.
4911.
Igor's going to take that one down, and we continue on here in Pittsburgh at the Rivers Casino. Poker Night in America, the cash game. They're playing 25-50 no-limit hold'em. Some of these players have opted to straddle, which would be $100. Some are not. Fried asking why you don't take a seat, Chris.
2 reasons.
It's a lot of money.
1, it's a lot of money, and 2, I suck at poker.
That's 2 good reasons.
You know what I know? Here's my thing about playing poker is that, you know, whenever you'll sit down at a table and people recognize who you are, start talking to you or whatever, that people always assume that you must just be really good. And then they quickly find out, like, wow, you're terrible. Like, yeah, when did I never, like, sat down and proclaimed myself to be any good?
Yeah, you and Norm Chad. I mean, Norm Chad readily admits he does not play no limit hold'em. I played a lot of poker with Norm Chad. It's always stud 8.
Yeah.
He loves the game stud 8, and we play stud 8 all the time. Super funny guy, very witty. Big fan of Norm Chad. That said, I mean, he readily admits I don't play no limit hold'em.
And when I do, I play it very bad.
Right, you're a broadcaster.
I know just enough to get myself into a boatload of trouble, and I have no idea how to get out of it.
Let's go.
I have just enough information to really get myself in trouble. Raised by Schombacher. Schombacher folds the 3-bet.
We got a new player coming in.
Schombacher just doesn't want to get himself in trouble playing a hand out of position.
Well, he came in a 6-way pot, so it kind of, you know, looks good for us.
Yeah, there is a misconception sometimes that they think, okay, you're commentating on the game or you're broadcasting the game. Not only do you know how to play, but there's also why wouldn't you play in this game?
Right.
This is a very, I mean, it's a 25-50 game with a $100 straddle. You know, we're talking about average buy-in was like $11,000, $12,000.
Sure.
Probably even more than
I
that.
don't hear very well.
I mean, and let's be honest, with that amount of money, I can buy a lot of Sugar Ray CDs.
Oh
a ton of Sugar Ray CDs. I can keep the tramp stamp well lotion.
By the way, do you realize your tattoo came up because I'm getting a tattoo myself?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are you getting?
I'm getting, it's going to be lyrics to a Bruce Springsteen. I'm a big Bruce fan.
Okay.
So lyrics to a Bruce Springsteen fan.
Glory Days?
No. I'm going to leave it out there.
Okay.
I will when it is on my body. I will. I'll show everybody.
Where are you putting it?
I'm still torn, but I'm thinking my calf.
Okay. Back of the calf, like right
yeah.
now. Okay.
So it'll be like a
To the table, Richard.
back calf stamp.
So the two other tattoos I have, one is on my ankle, and the other one's on my upper thigh.
Is it the one on your ankle? Is it a butterfly?
Nope.
No.
It's just a design that goes around it. I don't know. And again,
and where's the third one?
Third one's on my thigh. It's a Superman
Around
emblem,
here?
the S.
Right.
I'm from Apollo, Pennsylvania. About
Not afraid to admit these things.
No, I respect that.
What do I care? Natalie Storm keeps calling me crispy. Is there anything to that? Am I missing something? Crispy, crispy?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Okay.
I'm not really sure, actually.
I don't know when we played or what we played, but I remember.
I prefer the stories.
Fried asking where I play poker. I live in Los Angeles. Generally, I play at the Bicycle Casino. That's kind of my home casino and where I spend most of my time playing poker. I still play when I'm in Los Angeles. I probably play I'd say about 18, 20 hours a week. So
Really?
if you want my money, you can come down to the bike and challenge me.
God.
I'm there.
I play less
I don't hide.
poker now doing this job than I did before I got
Makes
into
sense.
Richard, where are you from?
it. It just don't.
You're a
play
busy
lot.
guy. You've got
Four
four
kids, couple of jobs.
Welcome.
Yeah, you got to dodge all those murderers in Fargo.
Do you, just so I think it's fair for everybody at the table to know, do you communicate also with the mothership? Phil communicates with the
Don't
mothership.
confuse them.
They have this line. They always just walk me on a hand.
That new player, by the way, that's Richard Lacrone, bought in for $5,000.
Since he's from Apollo, PA,
I'm going to go on a limb and say he's local.
Spaceship name.
I would assume
Yeah,
so.
right.
All right, I'm going to open a new game. I'm going to call these 9 names. What are you playing? 2550.
I like the point that Dollar B guy makes. Do you think Vin Scully can hit a fastball? No, but he can call the game.
There you go.
Valid point. I'm going to use that one.
Right.
Gamble.
Now, there's been plenty of evidence through the years, I mean, of good coaches and good commentators and broadcasters that don't necessarily need to be experts at the game.
Right. And
They need to know the game.
my framing is exactly my framing for Poker Night in America, the show, the edited show that's on CBS Sports Network, is I'm not the star of the game. I'm not there to tell you what I think is going on. The players do that by themselves. What I'm there for is to kind of facilitate, jump from spot to spot, and so there, that's the start of what's going on. I'm not there because I'm not a poker expert by no means. So I don't want to come across as somebody saying, well, that was really dumb. Well, yeah, it's because I don't,
The last hand?
I'm not thinking 8 levels ahead like a lot of these players are. I'm simply there to maybe throw a little entertainment into it if need be, and to be made fun of. That's fine by me.
Hey, I'm a big believer in, hey, whether they're laughing at you or with you, as long as they're laughing,
That's true.
it's good stuff.
It's true.
They should have a Poker Night in America where they have 3 or 4 weak players per table. They used to have that back in the old days. Like in 2005, they would invite the fellas to a TV thing, and there'd be 3 or 4 guys none of us had seen before. They were businessmen or something. Where are those games? Get the cameras over those guys.
Back in 2005, that's right.
Yeah.
Raise the 3 1/4.
They exist. People were doing crazy things.
Straddled pot, so 25, 50, 100.
Really good.
You gotta know the right people.
Those
Not
guys,
many though.
those fun players aren't showing up at these things as often.
No.
If this game were 10-25 with a possible $50 straddle,
Some suggest they know where those games exist.
I would be immensely more comfortable playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In every city. Yeah. People just don't travel anymore.
Well, now you're talking about, the buy-in now at a $5,000.
I'd still buy in for 10. I'd still buy in for 10,000.
Which then is a huge buy-in for that game.
Right, I'd still buy in for that. I'd still buy in for like 10,000 into that game, but I would be immensely more comfortable playing in a 10-25 with a possible $50 straddle as opposed to a 25-50 game with a $100 straddle.
You know where I'm most comfortable when it comes to playing cards is playing the game Shit on Your Neighbor. Are you familiar with this game?
No, but I love it already.
It's one of my favorites. That one and we've another.
Is it a
home
drinking game?
No, but it's a game you play while you are drinking. And
Very quickly before we get to this Shit on Your Neighbor game, Schombacher's actually down about $2,400. Locke's down about $1,000. Schneider is up. That's right. Donkey Bomber is up almost $12,000.
Last week I wanted,
So we will stay on top of that. What a day for our satellite winner, Vierhaller. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name.
I think that sounds good now.
Vierhaller. Mike is he won the satellite, so he turned 1,000 into 10,000, and now he's turned 10,000 into 14,000. So he
it's not
has
a bad day.
Yeah, you go to the casino with $1,000 and you turn it into almost 15K.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And they have the experience of getting to do this.
He's not.
More importantly, let's go to let's shit on your neighbor.
Okay, so everyone takes $4 bills. You play with $5. You put $1 into the middle, and then you have 4 $1 bills that sit in front of you. And there's a dealer, and the dealer deals out everyone a card, and the person to the left of the dealer looks at their card. You don't want to have the lowest card. So they look at their card. Let's say it's a 4. Well, I don't want the 4. So you pass it to your left, to your neighbor, and then you take your neighbor's card.
You take. Oh, okay.
So, like, if I have a 4 and I'm like, that sucks, and I give it to the guy on the left, and then he passes me a jack, sweet, I'm probably safe. So then that guy then can take that 4 and pass it to the next person. But if, like, the next person passes him a deuce, well, then, like, oh, sweet, thank you for that. And then the person who has the lowest card takes one of their dollars and puts it into the middle. And you just
when is the? I mean, is it each person gets to do it once, or does it keep going around? Because obviously,
it just threw one time back to the dealer.
Oh, okay.
So each round.
So obviously, it's a very easy game if you get a 3 or a deuce or a 4 even.
Right.
But the real question is, what do you do when you get the 6s or the 7s?
See, that's the thing. That's where the gamble comes into the game. And then the last person who is left with $1 in front of them scoops the entire pot.
That's when you're supposed to play with it?
Takes about a good, 10 minutes to play a hand when you're drinking.
Mothership race.
Another fun game we play is, you don't reshuffle each hand. Only when the deck runs out.
Oh, I see. So there is some skill in terms of knowing which cards are dead.
Another fun game to play
huge.
is Guts. You ever played Guts?
Love Guts.
Oh, how about In Between? You've obviously played In Between.
See, Guts is a tough game because Guts, I mean, you play Guts with, we're going to explain Guts to our audience in a second. Do you play Guts with the escalating pot as well?
Yep.
So Guts is a game where, are you playing 2-card Guts or 3-card Guts? So Guts is basically, you get 2 cards, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you basically hold your cards out.
Face down.
Face down, and somebody goes, 1, 2, 3, and you have to hold if you hold your hand, you're in the pot.
Yep.
This is the catch, though. If you lose, you have to match the pot, or sometimes they have, put 50% of whatever
Max
the pot is.
burn or something, whatever
it is.
be.
So the pot starts growing. And I'm not kidding when I tell you, I used to play this game when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And the game would go from, okay, everybody put a dime in. By the end of it, it's like, I just lost $48, and you're losing your mind.
Yep. Love playing Guts.
That's a tough game. Lacrone with the only club in his hand. But he's out of there.
All right, Mark.
And now it's Smith for Schneider, neither one of them. And another ace in the turn, and this hand is essentially over in terms of we know Smith's going to win it. But will Schneider pay him off?
That was the price for the Kyle.
You got to bet this, Smith.
200 on the river. This pot just going nowhere as far as size goes.
This is a really weird spot where you could have made the argument. If I was in Schneider's spot, I'll put it this way, and Smith checked to me, I would bet for value with King Queen.
Sure.
But I probably wouldn't pay the guy off.
Look at that little gemstone.
Like, this is one of those rare spots where to get value, if you knew exactly what your opponent had, you'd probably want to check to him because he might actually bet King Queen. It's likely to be the best hand.
Well, if you've acted like you don't care about this hand.
Well, no, even if you do, it's like you can get value from a worse queen.
Sure.
Your king plays. It's a good.
So then the other fun wrinkle in the Guts game, then we play if everybody drops. So that also happens too when they say 1, 2, 3 drop and everyone drops their cards. The person who would have won the hand, they then have to match the pot.
Oh, I like that wrinkle.
So if you're a chick, if everyone's checking, when there's $100 in there and everyone or whatever it is, and everyone drops, well then you flip your cards up and say, okay, who would have won the hand? Now you've got to match the pot.
And then, by the way, if you ever have a poker night at home and you just do a Hold'em tournament or you play Hold'em or PLO, I strongly encourage you, Google mixed fun games.
Absolutely.
And play Follow the Queen.
I have so
play
many
Guts.
I have so many friends that we used to have these fun home games where we play all these crazy games and maybe play 5-card draw or something like that. That was maybe one time out of 10 different games we would play. And then you got people who got really serious into playing Hold'em and that's all they wanted to play. Well, then the players who didn't want to do that, they just stopped coming to the home games. And then the home games just became a giant cash game. But those fun drinking, we're having a good time, just hanging out in someone's garage, those games for a lot of people just kind of died off.
Yeah, Schneider, by the way, a ton of outs. I mean, I have no desire when I go, like, if I go to visit my buddies and they're like, "Hey, we're getting a poker game going," I don't want to sit in the room with like 13 guys and play Hold'em with my. They're wearing their glasses, and it's like I grew up playing dealer's choice.
Yep.
We'd play Follow the Queen or Midnight Baseball or Guts or Suicide Kings or Wild or whatever game you wanted to play. And frankly, I think playing those games and being forced to quickly adapt and adjust to new games trains you as a poker player far better than just playing Hold'em.
Sure, because it puts you into that. I have to judge people.
No, and you also you just have to make adjustments. Like, okay, new game. Like somebody will just invent a new game. You have to quickly on the fly try to figure out, okay, what's a good hand? What kind of hand am I trying to make here? What relative strength of hands, where we're not just like built in. We know how to play Hold'em. I've read the books.
I must call.
I like acculates, by the way. Our Hold'em tournaments always end up in a table flip.
When you have a perfect read on a guy, you almost got to play anything.
That sounds like a fun home game.
That's the way to play, right?
Another fun game. Have you ever played 2, 22, 7, 27?
I have played. That's like when you put a whole bunch of cards out there.
Well, no, in this one, it's face cards are worth a half a point, and you're trying to get 2 or over 2.
I haven't played that particular game, but I played variants of that game.
God, I miss those days. I actually played in a game once where a guy was out of money, but he had to pay the pot, and he put a bug zapper. He had bought a bug zapper that day at Menards. Like, you know what a bug zapper is?
Yeah. So he put his bug zapper in?
He was like, I just bought this for $60 today, so it's still in the box.
Who wants it?
Well, I don't know. I guess he could give me the receipt and I could return it.
But why wouldn't you just? I mean, I've got a million photos of like poker games I grew up with where it was just there was a bunch of small little pieces of yellow paper or white paper in the pot that was IOUs.
Sure. Oh yeah, and you held on to those.
Yeah.
We used to play it on the basketball and the football bus when you go to away games. We used to play, but they wouldn't let us have cards. So then we'd make up little pieces of paper, and we would make 52 pieces of paper.
They wouldn't let you have cards?
Yeah, because they found out we were gambling, and they took them away from us. And well, then we'd just sit there with our little pieces of paper, and they didn't seem to mind that because it's like we had to be enterprising, I guess, to make our own cards. But
he come out of Kentucky.
We ruined a lot of quarterbacks.
I'm telling you.
How about a bluff here?
We had at least like 10 college stars that didn't do anything.
No, I'm sorry. I actually had the best hand with a pair of 4s. Thought maybe for a bluff, but no.
I think I saw they showed the
He just
list
won
of your
it. Won $2,000 there.
Quarterbacks in the last.
It's funny. Jamie goes broke 2016. Another funny story of a home game that we played once. There, I lived probably like 2 blocks away from a convenience store, and there was a guy who one night, in the one night, walked to the convenience store 3 times to go get more money from the ATM.
I mean, I guess his.
It was so painful.
His credit was not good with you guys. I've never heard the bug zapper is the best though. I have never seen. Well, I mean, you always hear you see the movies where the guy throws his cars on his car keys, his watch. The bug zapper.
But it was now you're playing poker in Fargo, North Dakota. And there's probably somebody in the hand that was like, "Ooh, I could really use that."
Of course.
Well, what brand is that?
I want to win that.
Is that a Wagner? Oh God, they make good zappers.
Jay Sassana asking how long the game's been going. These guys started playing at about 12:30 Eastern time. We started our stream at about 1 o'clock, and we've got about a half hour left.
Yeah, what time is it?
I had family here.
Real time, they'll be ending within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Real time.
Yeah.
So
exactly. We go from about 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time each day. Mike Vierheller, who just won a hand, is having a really nice day. He's up about 5,000 or 6,000 already in this game after winning 9 earlier on today. But he's got ace queen against Igor's aces. He's going to call this. He's in position.
Wow.
Don't hit a queen. Lucky for him, flop did not come out queen 7-5.
Yeah.
It's much easier for him to get away from it.
Where'd he say we were?
Coffee Nub says, how about games with wild cards like one-eyed jacks? Yeah, dude, all those games. I love that. I played 5-handed. Sometimes it would be 6-handed. Vierheller's going to let that one go.
Wow.
Pocket 7? No, you wouldn't pull pocket 7.
A big king.
That's classic, though. Guy throws his bug zapper on the table. I just bought this today.
Yeah. Leif,
And then
Leif Erickson was his name.
Leif.
An old buddy of mine. Leif
I'm sure he's
Erickson.
listening. Leif?
Was
he married at the time?
No, single. He was one of those. He was a radio guy, and he was just a total burnout. Just like when you think of what a burnout from the 60s and 70s would be, that was Leif. Super great guy, but couldn't keep like 3 thoughts together at the same time. Just hilarious guy.
I mean, can you imagine being married and you know, your wife goes, cool, can you pick up the bug zapper today? And you're like, yeah, I got it. I'm going to play poker. I'll be home later. I'll put the bug zapper in tomorrow. And then you come home and it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And your wife's just like,
Say
I
what
thought you
happened
said
to
you
the
bought
bug
it.
zapper.
Yeah. I mean, how do you even explain that?
I decided not to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I see a receipt here from Menards.
I'll be the first person to decide.
I also remember playing in that same home game where I was so excited one night that I won $300 in one night. I drove directly to Walmart and bought a PlayStation 2. I was so jacked up. Maybe even a PlayStation 1. I think it might have been a PS1.
PS1.
I was so excited. No, I don't. I still have my PS2, though.
Igor's going to take a shot at this one. Phil has checked the pair of 8s twice. And Igor's going to win that one. Kind of the delayed C-bet. Decided not to bet the flop. But he does bet the turn. Takes it down.
You got even?
What?
You got even?
I folded a pair.
SD619 asking if I'm hitting the sack after the long stream. No, man, I got to go out.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah. I'm just deciding whether I want to
I mean, it's not a lot, but
we're kicking field goals tomorrow morning, so I'm kind of debating whether I want to just go get a little something to eat and relax and get a good night's sleep, or do I want to go hit the south side, which apparently is the place to go in
Find all the
Pittsburgh,
bars.
and have a later night out and still wake up in the morning on no sleep and then try to kick a field goal.
So tomorrow when we go to do that, is it, do we know the conditions of what we're going to be, like is it real grass, is it field turf, is it real grass?
I don't know
Is it
anything.
indoors,
I don't know.
outdoors?
Oh, I forgot it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold tomorrow.
Well, I'm not
morning here.
going. It's cold. I'm a
Pansy
California
ass.
boy now. No, I don't know anything
Richard,
about the conditions.
And
It could be
then,
raining tomorrow morning.
Are we,
for all
are
I
we
know.
kicking it off of a tee, or is somebody going to be holding it on the ground?
I would assume we're going to kick off a tee because does anybody really want to hold?
No, but the thing is, like the kickoff tee, like the one that you and I grew up with, is I mean that's no longer a thing. Now it's just basically a square that holds the ball on it, like the tee, you know, that I'm
Right,
talking about that we had as kids. That doesn't exist anymore. Like they don't use that anymore.
Really?
Yeah. No. So if you know it was raised up like 3 inches off the ground.
Schombacher flops the nuts.
I would also.
And this could get interesting. Lacrone, who's the new player at the table, has top pair with a pretty good kicker. Backdoor diamonds.
Still do that.
White collar?
You don't get biceps like that. Just,
Wow.
like making smoothies for people.
Oh. We have a
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Didn't even consider it.
Like it wasn't even a thought. Like King 9, that can't be the best hand. I fold.
Yeah, there's no way I got top pair second kicker. That can't be anywhere near good right now.
Like I mean, there wasn't even a thought. I mean, if you're Schombacher, if you knew that your opponent had that, you'd just be like, wow, how do I not at least get one street of value?
Now I know we're not playing really short-handed, but I mean we are still seven-handed. It's not like there's a full 9-person table here.
Took him up with Frank.
And you have
Even
top,
if it was
top pair and second kicker, like
the board is 9-7-6,
and you only
Schombacher leads out.
you only have one
Schombacher-
other player.
Schombacher can lead out. Right, exactly. It's not like you're a next act and you have 4 more players behind you. You actually close the action if you call.
Yeah. Now there's a good look. That is how you upload with the mothership right
Ever hear of
there.
a store called Frank's?
I will put it out there and I'll say results-oriented, great fold. Over the long run, that's a really bad fold.
Yeah, if you're in
You
that
can't-
situation 100 times,
Tip flop. You still do?
I mean, let's think of the range of hands that Schombacher could theoretically be leading out with.
Straddle. Good
Well, we know it's the nuts, but couldn't it also be 9-8, 7-8, 6-8, a straight draw, and a pair?
or maybe a small pocket pair because he was on the button.
Who
there.
knows?
So
Yeah, I mean, Schombacher was under the gun. He was actually in the small blind, and he let out. But just bizarre. Jamie Goes Broke 2016. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Fortunately for you, you've got a good, 40 days or so to enjoy your money before you go broke. So, King 10-7. 2 players with King Jack. Smith gets out of the way. Neither player on the free roll. That should slow the action down a little bit, though. C. Kane says the guy just led 7 ways. Yeah, I don't think that Schonbacher has nothing in that case. And maybe I'm wrong. Tell me, please. Join the chat and let us know that we're crazy. I don't think that Schonbacher has air there very often.
No.
But assuming that King 9 is not the best hand and calling at least one street,
let's see.
Seems
turn.
a little tight.
What if the turn comes out like a 4 or something like that? You're thinking,
Who
okay.
knows?
And now you can check to the river. At that point, you've got a lot of different.
You too.
I don't know. I just how you have top pair, second kicker, and you didn't even seem to consider it.
Was this tip on?
That you wouldn't take that heads up to the turn.
10,
Anyway.
That's
10,
me.
7 king, yeah.
Told you I never pay attention.
Yeah.
You've been in the tip seat, haven't you?
I have.
It's a big guy, that's why I have to move.
So when we kick these field goals, I think I'm relatively sure that I could get to 35 yards.
Wow, that's impressive.
Now, are we going to have
my over/under is 27, and I've got some. It looks like we're going to have some money on the line at 27 yards for me.
Okay, so when we do this, is going to be like an elimination where we start? You have to make a
high jump type thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, if 6 people and everyone, if you don't make the 20-yarder, you're out.
Right.
And then we'll back up. We'll go
2 yards.
Yeah.
Well, we could. To be honest, we could. It's not all of us. It could just be as simple as I kick a 20-yarder. Okay, then you have to kick a 21-yarder.
But there's got to be some kind of competition where.
That's what I mean. So I kick a 20-yarder.
Somebody
if you can't kick a 21-yarder, you're out.
You liked it, didn't you?
You got to keep upping it.
Okay, but then how do you do that with 6 people?
Well, because then if you kick a 21, the next person hits 22. Yeah, I guess we could bid. I don't know.
Somebody much smarter than us will figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Schneider with an open-ended straight draw on a paired board. Schonbacher with the 10s. Locke's going to bet, though, with his ace-5.
Oh boy. I think I'm pretty smart, actually. I'm starting to think I'm not as dumb as I look.
Who was that, Schneider? Who just said he's not as dumb as he looks?
Now, how do you play on the loudmouth golf attire that Tom reps?
Well, I think the fact that Tom just said I'm not as dumb as I look is that's obvious.
Part of
I don't think you could possibly be as dumb as he looks.
Oh, come on now. I love loudmouth stuff. I'll go on record saying I own numerous pairs of shorts, pants. I don't have the jackets like Tom Schneider does.
I have no problem with that. And in all fairness, I was making fun, but I have no problem. You wear what you want to wear.
I'm the guy at the country club who is like the idiot who shows up.
Dude, be the guy you want to be.
Yeah.
You want to go nuts and be crazy, be crazy. I'm not. Who am I to judge you? Frankly speaking, if we would stop judging. And we would just let everybody to each their own, I think we'd be a lot better off. So
the haters rule the world.
Right. If you want to wear ski goggles, you want to wear a really loud jacket, you want to have a tramp stamp, you do it. Okay?
Hells to the yeah.
Right.
All right, I'm going to go find a beer.
Put 100 out there.
Okay.
You won't have so much.
Thanks, Chris.
Phil, you want to sit?
There you go.
Talk about your day? All right.
I have to say
Chris Hansen, guys, you can get him. He's on the Chris, John, and Jane show. At the Chris, John, and Jane show, and that's at Bob's 95.
I can.
Bob 95 Radio something. It's a country station up in Fargo. Google I bet you if you Google Chris, John, Jane, Fargo, you'll figure it out. It'll be easy, and you can call in. Call in and ask him some really silly questions. So we say goodbye to Chris. We say hello to. Mr. Locke. So they have called it a day. We are 30 minutes. This is really weird for you.
I thought you said plumbing.
We are 30 minutes. You're in the future, but we are 30 minutes in the past.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, huh?
I remember having 7-9 of clubs. I don't remember what comes, but I remember thinking, wow, I'm just going to win like 8,000. It felt, when you start with 40-odd% of a straight flush, you just feel like I'm going to win 8,000. That's the standard feeling. But sometimes it doesn't go that way. As you can see, you witnessed throughout the night. Funny, dunny things.
Taken in.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's a good hand.
Right, it's
See?
tough to win 8,000 with 7-9 of clubs on that flop.
Yeah, I just gave up. I'm like,
How was how'd you we
I
obviously
lost $1,150. I think is what it was. I ended with 38,000.
Right?
okay, so that's about where you're at now. So nothing significant in the last 20 minutes
I don't think so.
for you at least.
Yeah, I just plodded along. I basically rushed ahead by playing one hand Terabad, and then
Well, you know, they wear 'em
trickled it
tighter
off by playing hands
Yeah,
with Tom.
exactly.
Pretty much.
It's like you're.
Schneider had a good day.
He won a lot of money. What percent of the time did he bluff me? What percent of the time he had me?
I don't think he bluffed you all that often. He did bluff a couple of players, most notably he bluffed David Baker early on. He bluffed our satellite guy, Mike
So then I made some
Vierhala.
calls. Okay. 9, 10 of spades. Once again, you feel like, oh, I'm going to win 9,000. This is what the feeling comes with those hands. But then, you know, I even think I lose this hand.
How does that
Needed
happen?
one.
Oh, that's probably how it happens. Igor, I picked up kings.
I like it.
Yeah, so we actually have Phil Locke Mintio is 100% correct. Phil Locke commentating on his own play. Phil Locke is both at the table and at the commentary table. It's weird. It's surreal.
I probably
it's
should
very
have folded.
cool.
He did rate it so much. I remember calling this. It was a lot more than I wanted to call.
Wow. Big flop for you.
So
Got
weird.
backdoor spades,
Now I'm
open-ended.
hoping he has aces or kings. So weird how he folded on the river. He knew I got there somehow. I didn't even bet that much. Or did I put them all in? I can't remember.
I mean, Igor's one of those guys who does...
I get there on the river, but I don't remember. I think my bet sizing was bad if I know he has, like, queens, kings, or aces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Igor bets 1,900. You called. Pot is
Shouldn't give it away, 'cause
now
no one knows that except now they do. That I hit it.
7,600.
Say if it's short.
Oh, I thought I got the 7 a little later on in the hand.
No, right away, Pink.
How sure are you of that?
That's the worst.
Yeah,
I've ever
no,
seen.
I watched it.
I can
I
see
thought I had
it.
the fade of black, a blank. No, I just got
No,
it.
apparently not. I mean, we can see the board.
I
Wow.
had days like
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, yeah, it's poker.
Yeah, there's only 4 cards out there.
That looks like a 7.
Yeah.
I guess I made the hand.
I mean, the problem is,
Now,
I mean...
why am I betting out? See, this is...
Well, no, he checked you.
You didn't have enough
Oh, he
chips,
checked
though.
me. Okay,
He
I
checked
like
you.
that. Now, why am I betting 5,000? Is that what that is?
5,100.
Could have just been a better
I
player.
just thought,
That probably would have been.
wow, he just
I
folds.
think
I should bet, like,
Maybe that.
if I know he has kings, I want him to call. I mean, wow, he only has 4 outs.
Yeah, one thing that I found pretty consistent with your play today, specifically today,
I lost a lot of money by overbetting.
against specifically the pros on your right. Schombacher and Igor, the guy in the blue shirt.
Yeah, I raised my hand too. I should be bluffing them more often too. I don't think I bluffed them too often. It felt like they were just playing hands a lot.
I think the overbet bluff probably would have worked a few times against them.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're folding, but big hands against you.
I mean, they're folding sets too. Set of
Sets.
kings.
I mean, earlier on, you made 7-8. You made the straight against top pair. He folded that one.
Can you imagine if
Yeah.
you had a bet?
You know, here he
on
had
that?
kings.
Like, you had a bet
Didn't
like
even really think that long before
There might
folding.
not be enough typewriter over He's good.
No, but
So you can
imagine,
tell
let's
these
say there
guys.
were enough type.
And he lost tonight too. And then we did
What is
some
the bet
flips.
that they can type like
I got even
War
on the
and
flips.
Peace if you give it enough time?
I flipped a lot this weekend and I broke
Could
even
you
the
imagine if they
whole
got like
trip
through
for
like
flips.
half the book?
We're on a 30-minute delay, guys. For obvious reasons, we have to be on a delay since we're showing hole cards.
Did a type point, you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be impossible.
But we are live in the sense that we are seeing this for the first time.
Stuart Manick at 8:39. I agree with you. I'm going to stop spoiling. Don't ban me. Just warn me. It won't happen again.
I think it's impossible.
was
to
flawed
randomly
there,
type.
and I yield
and
to the
space,
truth.
even
I
space,
accept.
like, you know,
It
imagine
won't happen
how hard
again.
that
Mistakes happen, guys. We don't need to ban anybody, fire anybody. We don't need to kill anybody because they make a mistake.
Ian Van is correct about the. See, that's what I almost.
Exactly where
I
you're
won
at.
300 more, and then that was or something like that.
Schneider, by the way, up 14,000.
He just
Beast.
killed it. Yeah.
What was your impression overall of the table?
That Schneider was an ISO junkie on me and just on my soul, and that Jack is one of like 3% of the people in the casino that can fold that set, and
They couldn't come up
that
with
they're all. It was tough. It was. When does
Much tougher
does
table
poker-
today, by the way, than yesterday, huh?
Yeah. Does Poker Night in America get like 3 or 4 live fish ever, or is it always just super?
No,
winners?
we always get. I mean, we have a lot of. I mean,
There's
I've
been
now
some
covered
stuff.
I want to say probably 12 days, and it's a mix. I mean, some days we get some really good players, and then some days
Yeah.
you get
Stuff, fun players.
some days you're shocked at how good the game is.
This hand was weird.
Ace 8-6, 2 clubs out there.
Why do I feel like I was winning? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, you are winning right now. You're still winning.
And then I think, how did the betting go? It went
You bet.
Yeah, I just bet and then he flatted. So I don't even understand that call. It's only to float, so I have to just check call. It's like weird.
There's a program you need to get.
So here's the thing: when I check and he bets, I can just raise because, right? Well, I mean,
And it saves all your passwords.
he has to have 7-8
watch all your
or
stuff. It'll generate
Ace 8
random
or.
stuff
I mean, isn't he
for
going to
each
fold
and
a
then
straight if I
just
raise
remember
here?
one password for that, and then you never have to worry
Isn't he
about
going to
it.
fold an ace? Isn't he going to fold?
I mean, I don't think he has many straights.
He might even fold a straight 8 if I just raise. I don't know.
Because you think he has many straights?
No, but again,
I mean, he went check on the flop, right?
Let's pretend he has 8, 10 of diamonds, reasonable, which he doesn't have. It's hard to call when a guy pops it there.
Yeah?
It's hard to find those spots. It can be expensive. Like,
He actually, this is a guy. One thing I will tell you about Igor, it's kind of interesting. He loves to check back flops to make it look like he has showdown value, and then put a delayed c-bet out there against good players because they're like, oh well, you check back, you probably got some showdown value. Now you're putting delayed c-bet. Kind of what he took there because he checked back the flop, floated you, and then bet the river.
So
I was trying to brutally hanging on. It just
they can't steal that. You know.
yeah. That's the problem. Even when you play hands that have value, you might not get the value. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
What was this hand? 7-8.
So this is the new guy at the table, Richard Leckrone.
Richard Leckrone.
Yeah.
900.
Who invited this guy?
I think a better game would be 25-50 and 200 dead from the big blind, or
like an ante.
Yeah, or 25-50, 100 dead ante from the big blind.
What about 10-25 with $100 or the $200 dead? So it's like a $25 ante as well. So it's a huge ante relative to the blinds.
Oh, yeah, any kind of variation like that I think is.
I like antes.
Just
Igor has flopped the wheel.
Yeah.
So, and he was the original raiser. Leckrone actually 3-bet him.
Yeah.
Lecrone's going to put out a c-bet.
That's kind of like the hand I had. King Jack on the ace-high board. You think you're winning.
By the way, nice laydown with the 5-3. Quality laydown.
Oh, what did he have?
Deuce 4.
Deuce
He made
4.
it.
It felt like 4-6 or Deuce 4.
Yeah, Deuce 4. I thought it was a very good laydown.
Stuff, yeah. He knows I have a hand. And he thinks, I'm thinking, well, a lot of cards ruin this party for him. So maybe he's just trying to
7-8 I had.
hope I think he wants me to think he has, the ace-high flush draw.
Trouble getting
It was tough. I almost called. But then I saw it was going to be 12,000 total.
Benny U123 says the commentating is live, but the footage isn't. Title on the stream is very confusing. It's essentially live, guys. This happened technically this happened like 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. It's really not a big deal.
Hey, that's good. Plix, F-I-S-J. That's very smart. Taking the under that lock will leave the table within 30 minutes. You use the fact that you can hear my voice to get to that. You would win that bet.
No, but it was completely like break person there, like after I folded.
Man, I'm tired.
I mean, obviously we can't show poker with hole cards live.
Right. Hey, baby.
So
I'm doing a little. I lost 1,000 tonight, or 1,150. I was up 11K at one point. Yeah, I lost. This is what it would look like visually. But at one point I was up 11K, and then yeah, awesome.
Awesome. I was coming to do some commentary because I thought, wow.
Cool. So Phil Locke, Jennifer Tilly in here.
Baby, sit here.
Yes, I'm gonna. No, I'll get my own chair. Phil wants me to sit on his lap. It's like I don't want to cut off the circulation to your legs, and then you have to have them amputated. All right.
How did your day go? You played the main event?
I played the main event twice. Yeah, and I lost both times, and now I'm here.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's okay. Everybody's really nice. Everyone, yeah. Chit chat.
Yeah.
They were re-raising me and
So,
pushing me around.
Yeah, I busted out of the tournament too. Last year, Phil Hellmuth won it.
Last year, like 3 people at the final table were people from Poker Night in America.
Yep.
That doesn't look like it's going to be a repeat this year.
I don't think so. I think, well, Matt Glantz is still in, and Jennifer Harmon's still in.
I have an ace.
Harmon.
Yeah.
By the way, we had Jennifer Harmon on the broadcast earlier on. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she is. Oh, we heard some salacious gossip at dinner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
not share it on the live stream.
We certainly will not. Someone said, talk louder in the microphone, please. Okay, I'm going to try not to look at the commentary because every time I look at it, it's like somebody says something bad about me.
No, these chats are actually, most of them are, they love you.
Jay
okay.
says,
Awesome.
Anna, you said Phil and Jen, do you guys ever argue over poker hands? Not
Absolutely, we do, yes.
We do?
Oh, we're arguing now. No.
I think so. We don't.
Well, we do because lots of times I will talk about a bad beat I had or how somebody outdrew me, and then Phil will say something like, "You should never been playing that
I try to
hand."
not
Yeah,
make
in first
qualitative-
position. Yes.
I try to stay out of the qualitative judgment analysis.
Right.
Just
You guys
live
talk.
and let
I'm
live.
just gonna watch, and if I think of something clever to say, I'll say it into my microphone. So go on, continue with your commentary.
I made an antenna at one point to tune in the frequency even further to the mothership, but all I could do was wobble around. Nothing really. It was a wobbly frisbee today. It was fun though.
Your man got involved in the hand of the night.
Right, I heard that. I heard someone had
really
talked.
interesting.
I made a bad bet on the turn, and then I made a bad call on the turn. Then I made a really lucky card on the river to win, and then I made a bad bet on the river. This is the analysis. The kids on the News, Views, and Gossips Logic page where they analyze the pros, they'll say, yeah, this is why Phil is not, with 27 million in tournament wins, because here he is. Look at how he mangled this hand. But it's fun to mangle a hand. Sometimes you mangle in reverse, and funny things happen in the opposite. I don't know.
Yeah, the cool thing about the hand was, so we were covering it, and then they went on dinner break.
Right.
So the two players in the hand, obviously Phil and Jack Schombacher, were right behind us. So we got to get in. We got to be inside their
Flopped a
heads.
set of kings, baby. Ace, king, rag. I had an ace high flush draw, and I got there.
Wow.
Yeah, ace jack of spades against pocket kings on an ace king rag 2-spade board. I mean, you couldn't draw it up any better. And then
It was so sick. And I get there on the river. By the turn, I tried to blow him off the hand, then he made it price me in incorrectly, and I called anyways.
See, look, Lost in Poker's got your back.
Lost in Poker? Let it ride, did you?
What does anyone say anything bad about Mike
It's the
Jenkins?
band hammer.
100% band hammer.
Lost in Poker. Are you one of the subs, or what is it called? The
moderator?
Moderator?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Lost in Poker. You're
Well, I
the
like
best.
that.
You've got a
I like
sword.
the band hammer. That means it's
Yeah.
safe to look at the commentary. Oh, someone says my favorite movie is Let It Ride. Did I enjoy making that movie? I knew nothing about the gambling world when I was making that film, and they actually had to tone it down because Richard Dreyfuss was too much of a degenerate. So I think it actually started out originally in a Gamblers Anonymous meeting, but the studio thought you couldn't identify with him if he had a gambling problem. So they deleted that scene from the movie.
What your thoughts on Richard Dreyfuss? I've always been such a huge fan of his.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I did 2 movies with him. I did Let It Ride, and then about 15 years later, I did a movie called The Crew, where he played a retired gangster. He's a great actor. He's very, very talented.
Yeah, a lot of people like your Let It Ride stuff. Movie.
Somebody loved I Bet You, the show with you and Antonio.
Oh, look at that. Yep, that was a relic from the past. That was a lot of fun.
They filmed
Prop
an
betting.
entire second season, and then
Third season. The
third
first 2 went up, and the third one never went up.
Yes, because the
Is
whole
the third one
network
is it
collapsed.
available
Yeah,
anywhere?
it's in my office. There's 13 episodes.
Why don't you
available in
release
his
it? Why don't you release it on
I
YouTube?
don't own it. It's owned by Food and Beverage Network or Home Food Living. I forget the
It was
network.
called, the network was called High Definition. It was a
The Mojo went out of business,
TV.
and it
Yeah.
sold as a part of the whole package to a company that was going to air it. But then they changed their marketing strategy from a general thing to just
Right.
food. So it's on the shelf, owned by some company that just shows food shows. That's where
I'm
it
not a
is.
lawyer, but I mean, doesn't at some point?
Yeah, they would sell it.
Doesn't, but at some point,
Oh.
doesn't the go back to
Statute
revert
of
back to you or
limitation,
something?
yeah. I don't know. I don't really know. I signed some really smart. I had smart lawyers on that project, so there's probably some ownership
Yeah,
protection.
Chester 01 says, "Oh my God, please find a way to release it." I mean, I bet you could release that on iTunes and
make
charge
$6.
like
Well, I would-
99 cents an episode
Mm-hmm.
and make a little money out of it.
If I did that, I'd have to give all the money to charity. Because
That's
I
fine.
don't think it's mine to. I wouldn't want to get in trouble. It's not mine to profit.
I wonder. I bet you I wonder if the network would allow that.
Right. That'd be fun.
I'm running away. I'm going to
Hold on,
run
let's see
away
what
from
they're
the
doing.
microphone. Tom Schneider is standing up. It looks like an all-in situation if he's standing up.
No, there's some sort of announcement.
Oh.
Something special can be
Phil, were
defined a
you
lot of
there? Do you know what
different
this
ways.
announcement was?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I don't have my headphones on. So.
They're just saying that we're doing a few more hands. They're going to be PLO, a couple of the last.
Oh, there's going to be a PLO flip or something.
Okay, I'm off. Yes, we're making a new Chucky movie.
Wow, we gotta
Yes.
make sure they.
We're making a new Chucky movie probably next fall. As long as Chucky lives, I have a job in the entertainment business.
I love the Chucky movies. They're so funny.
Well,
They're great.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm running away. I'm going to wait for Phil because I'm going to catch a ride in your limo.
Okay, I like it.
All right, bye. Nice
Jennifer Tilly, guys.
Let the peeps down.
She is the best.
Here we go.
Oh. Hey, how much easier is it
Wow,
for you
Lion's
to travel?
done. Lion's done. That's really beast-like. You're the best.
I would imagine, by the way, if you went to the network and you said, hey, let's release this on iTunes and let's raise the money. Any money we make, we put to charity. How could they say no?
I know. It's hard for them to say no. Maybe some legal thing. Hey, Jay Short, 83, shout out. Thank you. I have not seen nor played with Durr in a long time. And Farkas Poker, she can't give you a shout out because she's around 7 feet from us having a conversation with somebody off. She doesn't even know. She didn't even hear me say that. She's in her own little orbit right now. Yeah, so tomorrow they're going to meet. They're going to do. I'm glad you guys have all the tech stuff up with the live stream and all. This is great.
Yeah, the crew does a great job. They keep up in the game.
Graphics are amazing. I mean,
look very easy. We got a nice chat up. We can kind of talk to everybody. People can talk to us. Keep it as interactive as possible. It's all good stuff.
Yep, Morris, Wan, Chuck, 33. Jen is probably playing cash in the second half, I think. I'm playing the first half. And then around 4 p.m. or whatever, she's going to play, and I'm going to get up.
So you guys are going to play tomorrow, but at different times. You guys have made it very clear you don't like playing together.
It just feels like such a no-win, painful. I don't even like getting a pair of. I don't like winning or playing. It's just tough. It's not fun.
By the way, it was very obvious.
Yeah,
to the viewer.
The king high flush, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I should just not have played. Whatever, baby. I can't beat you. I can't lose to it. Just painful either side. It's just. I shouldn't have sat. But I have to sit because I'm sick and I need to degen. They said that there was a guy driving to the casino, and this is a long time ago, and it was a corrupt casino. And his friend says, you can't go to the game tonight. They've got loaded decks in the casino. You're going to get cheated. And he says, well, there's no other game in town. And he goes to the casino and plays anyways. Like, sometimes it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Even if you can't play a hand because your girl's in the game, you have to play because it's the only game in town. Since I'm in Pittsburgh, it's the only game in town. I'm trapped by the riddle. And then once I start getting cards, I realize, I can't play.
I love it, man. That's the only game in town. Pashul says, Locke, not only do I like the way you think in poker, you're a very nice poker player to watch. Make your own YouTube channel.
Oh, you guys are too honest, too fair, too kind. That's very giving. Bless you. Maybe, I don't know. It's a lot of work. All that tech stuff, The thing is, you can do whatever you want in life. Ooh, 2 aces.
Yep.
But it takes time, work, and energy. You have to dedicate the time, work, and energy. It might be fun to run a YouTube channel, but it's work,
Yeah, it is.
You got to cross the T's, dot the I's.
How often do you travel now for poker?
Well, now not for poker so much, but I've been traveling for wake surfing. I've been going to Austin and
for wake surfing
and Las Vegas. Yeah, All American Dave has a
I saw those. I saw the videos.
G23. It's crazy. You push waves that are 5-7 feet. It's crazy what's available for $80 worth of gas for 7 hours. You're drifting around the lake, floating on these waves. It's like magic. And then when you fall, they just pull you back up and create another perfect wave, and you're floating on. It's like, how did this?
I gotta do that. It's somehow, some way, I gotta do that.
Everybody gets up on the first day. Nope, I've seen 10 people learn. Everyone is floating at some point on the first day. That's how your body wants to surf. It turns out, humans, we came from the sea. Not maybe too long ago in the perspective of time.
Right.
But the whole, I'm not saying we're plankton, just let's go and I'm going to surf the foam, but we do good in the waves.
Yeah, I've never seen a plankton surf either, but nonetheless, though.
Well, there's that stuff, at night and it breaks up, and then the photoluminescence from the moon, and you see the green because the chlorophyll breaks, something like that. I'm thinking way back, maybe humans evolved from a cousin of those guys surfing the waves. I'm just saying it's in the blood.
Yeah.
It's people takes it's. So
I've tried surfing a couple times and I suck.
That's by the way, it's a wrong way to start because you have to gruel. 96% of surfing in the ocean is this thing and the paddling out in the ocean, and then a little way. Oh, okay, well let me try it again, and it's a lot of work. The wake surfing is just, they're creating this. It's like science just creates this way.
Apparently, we have one more hand until PLO. That sounds amazing. So All-American Dave's got that going
he'll take you out.
By the way, All-American Dave also just opened a restaurant in Vegas.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Isn't
to him.
that crazy? This week was
Are you part of that?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. I would love to support him. I've been supporting him, with love and buying his meals and stuff, that sort of thing. But I'm not really sure. I don't think I am. I might be. I wish I was. I should ask him.
I don't know what you're saying.
99 Jack
I'd say I'm not.
You're not. You probably know
but
if you
I might
were.
be. I support. The thing is, I feel like whatever endeavor's involved in, I am a part of it. I want him to just succeed. If I had
he's an easy guy to root for.
Yeah, you just want to be on his team. I'm on his team.
Team Dave.
I mean, through his success in life, he actually bought a boat, and so I surf now on his boat. So, in a sense, my success and his success are woven because we both love to surf.
Is it on Lake Mead?
Yeah, he has a boat there.
That's amazing.
And Hillbilly, who's going to be playing with us you guys at home? Hillbilly, otherwise known as Glenn Beebe, will be playing with us in Seminole Hard Rock next week or two from this Poker Night in America. He's playing.
Yeah, we are.
Hillbilly.
We are in Southern Florida, by the way, next Sunday, November 29th. So enjoy your turkey, enjoy your Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. Apparently, they need lock. Go.
Okay.
Get out
They're
here.
telling me I didn't know I was fiddling. Guys, you guys are the best. I miss you. I'm having separation anxiety. Wish I could have read every one of your comments and the whole, but I can't. I gotta go somewhere later.
I don't need this for the interview.
So apparently, Phil Lock's got to go.
Okay, there you go.
We appreciate his time as always. Thank you, Jennifer.
That's fine.
Good luck to both you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be gone in like a minute, but it's okay.
Yeah, 2, 2, 2. PLO. So let's see. He got the first hand. So this time he gets the first.
I believe they are done for the night. Phil Lock, as only Phil Lock could be. We have 2 hands of PLO. It's pretty much, they are doing a PLO-like flip. They're not even really playing PLO. They're just doing a PLO flip. So just a straight-out gamble for this last thing. I want to thank Jennifer Harmon. I want to thank Todd Anderson. I want to thank Chris Hansen, Jennifer Tilley, and, of course, Phil Lock for helping us out.
It goes flip, a bunch of flips. And basically, Jack wins 8,000, and Igor loses 8, and I break 2. That's if they want to know.
Love it. There you go. People win, people lose. Apparently, Igor loses, Phil breaks even. They flip for a lot of money. It's all good. Let's take a look at the final buy-ins and final profit losses, so to speak. Donkey Bomber, man, what a day. Up to 13,500. Clarence, man, really? Wow, okay. I didn't see that, but okay. I'm gonna I'll go with it there. Mike Vero, what a day for him, huh? This is a guy who won the satellite, so he got in for 1,000. And he ended up the day 18,000. He came to the casino with $1,000, burning a hole in his pocket, and he's now leaving with 18,000. What a day for him. ODB loses 1,800. Richard Leckrone comes in late, loses 2,300. Schonbacher, an up and down day. Got a bad beat with a set of kings. Still figured out a way only to lose 3,100. More importantly, he's rich in life. Congratulations to him and his wife on the birth of their second child. Phil Lock, as he mentioned, down a couple $1,000. Igor was down about 6,300. Igor early on was up 3,000 or 4,000, but later on, not much went his way. Mark Smith, wow, he lost 12,000. Man, that was kind of quiet. You don't. I don't really remember him losing that much. I mean, we saw him lose the first buy-in, which was $7,000, but he lost another $5,000 kind of quietly. I hope you enjoyed the show. A lot of fun as always. We are back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, for more action here at twitch.tv/PokerNightTV. We're also back on Monday for the final table of the main event, and we will be in Florida starting next Sunday, November 29th. For everybody here from Poker Night TV and Rivers Casino, thank you so much. Hello, and welcome back to Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. We apologize for that slight delay. It's just poker. You missed one hand. And you really just missed the audio of that one particular hand. Hello, Lost in Poker.
Oh, it would have worked. Oh, damn, it would have worked. It would have worked.
Main event, tournament dealers, blinds are up $75 ante, 3 and 600 blinds, 75 ante.
We are only here for 3 days in Pittsburgh, actually 4. 3 days of cash games, 1 day of final table tournament coverage.
4.
But then next week, we're in Florida for 3 more days of cash game coverage. That's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, November 29th, November 30th, and December 1st.
Break that, would you? Straddle.
Welcome, guys. Poker Night in America, live from Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. $25.50, no limit hold'em. Is the game.
It's always 4 if you can't remember.
Players are back from dinner. We are as well. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us.
If I had represented the straight flush on the higher side, it would have worked.
Yeah. Unless I just.
Straddled pot. So 25.50, 100. Mark Smith, known as Pegasus, makes it 300. Gets called in a few spots before Dan Wolf. Cletus
Every time I have it,
3 bets and takes that one down and shows the kings.
I made a big laydown too.
I'd imagine.
Mickey Deuces, I had a tuna salad
Actually, I'll just use this
for dinner. Gallup guy, you missed my joke, man. I did it in the first hour.
Good raise. I think I would have won that. I saw the run out. There's a whole ton of
You got a coffee black.
high cards and black cards. I think it.
I had those. I had high black card.
I think mine.
I don't like that
was one
thing.
pairing.
The card protector, I don't like it.
I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was a good run out for me. So you got to play him.
Appreciate the tweets, guys. Seth Darkhart, thanks, man.
3 1/4.
Neither player are going to love this flop. You imagine the pre-flop raise, you'll take this one down. Or just Phil Locke will take it down.
Mark did not give me any cards.
Sometimes the hands play themselves.
Password for today, coming later. That will come in the about 8 p.m. Eastern time. Well, sometime between now and 8 p.m., I should say.
How long can you register for the tournament? 8 levels or just that?
So,
6?
I think after dinner break.
If you're just joining us, welcome. Poker Night in America, the cash game here in Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. Igor in seat number 1. That's in the blue shirt. On his left, Dan Wolf, known as Cletus. Jack Schonbacher in the black shirt. On Jack's left, Phil Locke, who we're looking at with the ski goggles. Mark Pegasus Smith,
I'm already in for 1 green checker.
deficient in the hair department. In the very loud jacket, you can only see his right arm right now. That is Tom Donkey Bomber Schneider.
They get 4 1/4.
And then on his left, right there, Mike Virhala, who won the satellite to get in here. That's right, there is a satellite to get into this cash game. Noon each day.
All good.
$1,000 satellite. The winner of that gets to play
A 1K chip.
in the cash game.
Phil, you winning now?
I think it might be.
Yeah, I'd say he's winning.
We are on a 30-minute delay, but I'm on the same delay that you guys are.
Around 11 and a half.
Wow.
But yesterday I lost 13, so like for the 2 days I'm stuck 1,500.
Yeah.
That's a good win rate. I enjoy myself. You can't put a price on a good
No,
time.
you cannot put a price on
That's
it.
$750 I pay a night.
As always is the case, I like to keep the show as interactive as possible, guys. You can join us in the chat room.
Happy to have the money.
That's at twitch.tv/PokerNightTV.
Right.
I can see Dustin, Boston Kid, Wigmaster, Raven Darkheart,
And pull a Tom Schneider and just have like
A Gold, Gallup Guy, C-Manx, Gravy Main, Lost in Poker, Tits and Tits.
Like 8,000, which is a beer.
They're all in there. Thanks, guys.
I have to put it in raw with the big hand. I have to pay for 1 spade.
Hey, it all works though. It all works.
Appreciate you guys spending your Saturday with us, wherever you might be in the world. Farkas Poker, wondering who the big winners and big losers are so far. You know, a lot of money hasn't really traded hands. Schneider, I believe, is a big winner.
Okay at one time.
I believe Donkey Bomber, Tom Schneider, who's up like 9K, I think he's the big winner.
And then knowing how your opponent's going to move towards or
Matt Glantz, eating dinner behind me. I can only assume that means he got knocked out of the tournament. Yeah.
Marty Hogan?
I lost my over-under on him.
You know who Marty
By the way, so we set a line. I put it out to Twitter,
The only guy in
and we set a line at 27 yards, the longest field goal I'll be able to kick. You take the over. You're taking the under. Okay, so I'm gonna get some action on the over then for that. Okay, cool. I'm gonna wake up at 8 in the morning tomorrow. Stretch.
Wow.
I don't want to pull a quad.
Go get them. I'm tired of these guys beating up on you. Show them how to do it.
27 yards.
Oh, yeah, everyone's calm.
No, I get some practice. Yeah, I get some practice. I get this.
You want me to see if I can just,
Huh? No, of course. It's not going to be like 20 tries, but I get to like kick the ball around a little bit. I get some tries, you know.
I put it in. I put the money in.
We'll come up with the specific parameters of a bet later on. Smith raising with 10s. He's not going to like this flop, but he's still ahead.
Good man. I check.
Well, this is a pretty courageous bet from him, though. A lot of guys in his position are probably checking that back. I am in Pittsburgh right now. Morris One Chuck saying, talk about the Pennsylvania bill passing for online poker. I don't know if this is the forum for that, but I am pretty excited about the fact that it looks like online poker will be coming to Pennsylvania. That's good. That is good news. Regardless of where you stand, regardless of whether you play.
15-50.
Wolf. Feels weakness, and he's going to pounce on it, but look at Smith. He's not buying it. This guy has owned thoroughbreds. He's had fillies running the Kentucky Derby. Another overcard to his 10s, but he's picked up a draw now. A jack or a spade. Give Smith a flush or a straight. Let's see if Wolf can continue firing. Yeah, so a 27-yard field goal, that essentially means that I'm kicking, the ball is going to be on a tee at the 17-yard line. Yeah. I might have kicked the field goal in all honesty, like when I was like messing around with my friends when I was like 17 years old. I have no doubt that Donkey Bomber he seems athletic to me. And look at this double barrel from Wolf. It's a good card to double barrel for him, really, in the sense that, you know, he was either A, ahead, or he was doing it with a draw. And both obvious draws got there. Jack 10 got there, Spades got there. So just very, very hard for your opponent to continue on.
Get out there and play. Yeah, he is a fan of playing.
Smith is still far below 100 big blinds. But yeah, no, I have not. I mean, I never played football. I've covered it, but never played football. And the equivalent of me kicking field goals would be like, you know, probably when I was 15 years old and we were drunk in our high school football field. I'm an athlete, man. I have faith in myself. Huh?
400.
Yeah, no, good point, good point. I mean, I would say there's a distinct chance that not only will I not kick this field goal, there's a distinct chance that I will injure myself.
Is Cletus? I'm not sure. I guess Cletus maybe is the crazy one. I should switch that around. Yeah. Cletus is coming back.
Hype No Beam saying a 27-yard field goal is on the 10-yard line. That is only if there's a hike.
Name on your a read on your name better than you do.
And you have like an offensive line. We're probably not going to bring an entire offensive line in there, and there probably won't be a pass rush.
Cletus is trying to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Still trying to find his way.
If I deal with a pass rush, then I even less. If Nolan, no, that's fine. I could kick a 40-yarder if Nolan's coming in. I would just kick it right at his head. But Nolan, you're the pass rusher. Nolan Dalla is the pass rusher.
there were times where he was just like, you know, citizen of the world, and there were times where he stayed towards the end, you know? So I think it's
Spleefed? We will do that. There's actually a funny little game that I've seen broadcasters do, and I've played it before, where if you're producing TV, a lot of deuces out there, all the ducks are out there, where you give your co-commentator or co-broadcaster a funny phrase or a funny word, and as kind of a fun game to keep everybody on their toes, they have to figure out a way to get that word in the broadcast. So Spleefed, you have given me a very easy word to get into the broadcast, but I will do my best.
So you got to run the numbers on it to like, even though it's Cletus, it still has like 15% of clearance in there, and so you got to account for both. It's scary when you're playing against somebody like that.
Yeah.
Vierheller just moved all in. Kind of a weird play, I'm not going to lie.
3 deuces. If anyone had a deuce in their hand, you know what that means they have. Quads.
Really, really hard for you to get in the action.
And then it comes the kicker. So you could have a deuce and an ace. The other guy could have a deuce and an eighth or a king. The ace is higher than a king or an eighth. Any number less than an ace, not, you know.
From goal line to the back of the end zone to the field goal is 10 yards. So for our purposes, we will put a tee up at the 17-yard line. That will be a 27-yard field goal. The line has been set.
100. I'm sorry, I haven't even looked yet. I haven't looked.
Well,
I'll take, like I said, provided I get a few practice shots and I get to warm up, then I'm happy.
I didn't think it was my big blind.
Well, if somebody puts their finger there and holds it, I don't care either way. I just don't know if anybody would want to do that. There's a distinct chance that I might miss the ball and kick their head.
Oh, it's straddle.
You're on a straddle.
So it's a straddle. Now you limp, so I'm going to look what I have. Awesome. Now I'm going to check. There's 3 of us. Oh,
5, 4, 3, 2 diamonds out there. Nice flop for Smith. Smith has got a double gutter as well as a diamond draw. I mean, he's just got a monster hand here. And he hits it. It's an easy game. Yeah, Schombacher's done with this one. They say it's easier to kick off a tee than versus a guy holding. Why? Gravy Main says, why the hell is Locke always wearing that ski mask? He says, in a very dumbfounded way, as if you would even ask, it helps keep him in touch with the mothership.
We should play while we're sleeping. You know, like you play on beds.
Let's have our robots play.
Daleb guy,
Everybody in a bed.
in a very unscientific way, says it's 5 times easier off a tee.
200.
I'd like to see data suggesting that it's 5 times easier.
Oh no, I haven't seen Eric in a while.
Where did we come up with the scientific data that it's exactly 5 times easier off the tee?
Not good. I guess I made everybody mad when I said you're all boring.
They're going to prove you wrong.
Everyone's fine.
I don't know if they are or not.
We could make some sort of a bet, like I get 10. I have to kick it 10 times from the 27-yard line, or 5 times, and I have to make like
I think they like your style,
4,
kid.
3. There's so many times out of it.
You can't even take like a 20-minute break. Play with talking now.
Got a big hand developing here, Schombacher and Igor. These two have locked up in the past, with Schombacher always getting the best of Igor. See what happens here.
My wish will come true.
Well, so far, once again, Schombacher just continues to just pound on this kid. Shavanoki says, would it make sense to forbid wearing a ski mask at the table? Why?
Tom Snyder, you're familiar with the fact that there's little magnets, pieces of steel.
7,400 in the pot right now.
Good 11.5 to 13 gram casino chips.
As I mentioned, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you want to say hi to me on Twitter or ask any question, you can. I'm at Tuck on Sports. Twitch, same thing. I am at Tuck on Sports there as well.
In Arizona, they have cactus that are
It's basically like a recharge tower for the
Schombacher checks. Igor is going to bet. I think a lot of players in that particular spot would be checking back.
You could set up a little triangulation here, so where they
and get super focused in.
But he'll get your messages.
I don't know if my software guy went into your chips and fixed it out. But you got to have the neutraline chip, right?
Yeah.
You just get the one. You got the.
Do you go to Comic-Con? I can see you going to Comic-Con. I love that. Do you?
I've never been.
Never been?
I know of it, yeah.
You should go.
It seems like it could be fun.
You should go. I could see
did
you.
a little documentary.
You know what would be funny is those guys would think they're freaky, and then you would go and they go, this guy's freaking me out.
No, I would. These guys put in a lot of money. 5-7 of diamonds would be a very strong hand.
What do we got? Oh my God.
Can't have 5-7 of hearts.
No.
Schombacher wins another one against Igor.
Because
you're a good man, sir.
I intercepted the signal.
You intercepted the signal?
Dark Rage 555. We don't do shout outs. Sorry,
rolling
buddy.
over us like a bulldozer. Even if we have our permits to build, you say, no thank you, Tom Schneider Wrecking Company here, and you just bulldoze over whatever little...
Polkson says, new to the stream, is this poker or Winter Olympics? You get it? The ski goggles.
Really?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Polkson. That's a funny one. When Phil Locke plays, it's kind of like X Games meets poker.
Jack, I think, has some anger management issues.
By the way, if you are new to the stream, we are playing poker, and if you're new to poker, this is poker. We're playing 25-50 no limit hold'em. Very simply, we're trying to make the best 5-card hand. If you have any questions about the game, don't be shy. Ask away in the chat. You can also ask me personally, either on Twitter or on Twitch. Trying to bring new people to the game. Wolf with a flush draw.
Phil, have you given any more thought to your self-proclaimed name?
Oh my God, that's such a great question.
14.
No, I haven't, but I'm going to. I want to decide if I want.
Blue chips you see at the table are $25. Black chips are $100. Orange chips are $1,000. And you see that gray chip on top of the orange ones? It's in Jack Schombacher's stack. You can kind of see it standing on top of the orange ones. I should say sitting on. It's not really standing. It's a chip. They don't stand. But that chip is a 5K, that gray one. That is a 5K chip.
Baxter was nicknamed Silent Mike by yours truly a long time ago. I was in the hand with him. No.
Schombacher with somewhere in the $32,000 range. We'll get the chip stacks up for you in a second, though.
Yeah. People would, there was little conversational things that were optional, and he could have easily gone and he just silenced.
Yeah.
So one time in a hand, it was funny. It just came up and everyone stuck. Boom.
Check raise here from Wolf and a quick fold by Schombacher.
Show the bluff there.
It'd be good for me.
Ace-9, the best hand, the best draw.
A lot of spades came on the river. It would be like my hand. Well, you didn't put him on a set. It's like you can really put pressure on people if you have a draw, huh? Do it.
I mean, sometimes not what I have, or if I think what they have, you know, or I don't know. It's just.
You just go for it if it
sometimes
feels right.
I just look at my cards, look at the board. Sometimes I just look at their face, look at the board.
Yep.
You know, like. Sometimes I rub my baby's tummy, like if I feel something radiate. Like it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of things. It changes.
Yep.
1 second, I'm taking notes.
They're gonna call CPS on you.
3 1/4.
Oh my God, you have all the shit.
Cullen Human says Wolf is by far the best player at the table.
Communicating with the mothership.
Matt Glantz coming over. Matt Glantz has been eliminated from the tournament, the main event. Wolf, I've been impressed by Wolf's play. I don't know if he's the best player at the table by far, but I've been impressed by his play. I mean, I think Schombacher's been very good.
450.
Bunch of bombers. We cannot go through an airport and yell out each other's names, so all of a sudden we start getting frisked.
That is correct. selling ad, right? That was a good play. I mean, whatever. If he has a... Hey, just bet sometimes. I don't know.
I'm going to do that too, Phil. I think I'm going to go with a new chip.
Yeah,
chip
if they
measurement.
It's like a free roll. You could be like a monkey typing out something. But you could be just a chip, a human, just accidentally building a radio signal to your brain. But you're not even really aware, but you did it.
Monkey typing out something. I like that. I'm going with bigger stacks, taller. I really don't believe that theory. I don't care how many monkeys you have and how many typewriters. There's some things you just will not ever get. They will make a mistake halfway through.
Yep. Why you got spell check?
Or they'll run out of typewriter ribbon on the first day.
Yeah,
big flop for Igor.
They won't even collect the data. Well, if happened and no one will know. Like, if you clap in the woods, does
straight draw, flush draw.
If no one there to hear it, well, it could be the same thing.
He's going to raise and take that one down.
It could be like a woven thing, since the scientists will never explore it, because we're never going to hire monkeys to go into the
You don't have to hire monkeys. Actually, you know, they don't...
Just feed them every once in a while.
Yeah, don't have to hire them. It's not like an interview process or anything.
Yeah, would you like me to
I'm sorry.
I'm just compassionate. I feel like the monkeys have needs
They
too, and
deserve-
they should be...
Your letter will be in the mail.
Typing away all the time. They
Yes.
want to be in the woods. I actually think that's probably not even worth asking monkeys. I say keep the monkeys in the jungle and don't even ask them, because I'm pretty sure
they wouldn't be interested.
Down at least a couple thousand, just from
They wouldn't be interested.
surrendering to Stratum.
It's your option, buddy. You don't have to explain it to me.
125.
I mean, it's better for the game, but damn.
4 players. Times are tough, man.
Times are tough, man.
You got that 15K over there now?
Got that 15K, still trying to get on stock from yesterday.
250.
Might have to play all through next Wednesday for that to happen.
$750.
Huh?
Oh, Eric. Coming to one thing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Smart.
I think you want a big
Your name, it really is catching on though. You did a good job with that.
$1,600.
Yes, it's front and center. It's there, yeah.
Schneider bets 1,600 with trip fours.
Gonna have it on here.
Igor calls.
Like, you got some. Yeah, right.
See, on the top, you must let the antenna breathe, you know? It's like multiple...
There's a bet, there's a call.
See, pick up.
Nice little pot. As the 10 does play.
Do you have a name for that sculpture there, Bill? Do you name your...
It's just Tower 1, basic control.
Tower 1 basic control. That's what the mothership
beams
keeps
through.
in contact with.
Yep, it's just one of it's sort of like the space analogy of if you were just going camping, you would at the end of the night throw up a tent and get your sleeping bag ready for the evening. Like this is just an antenna signal. So
At
when
the end of the night, you get your sleeping bag ready for the evening.
Yeah.
What evening? From like the next
No,
evening?
for like
At the end of the
around 6,
night,
7
you get your sleeping bag ready
No,
for the
6,
evening.
7 p.m. I suggest if you're camping, you know,
It's not
to
the end
set
of
up
the
your...
Matt Berkey tweets in. Don't forget Jack Scheinbacher, one of Pittsburgh's finest. Yeah, well, his game has really impressed me. I mean, he's picked some great spots.
Take a rest, whatever.
Bluffed in a couple of great places, and then we saw him fold a set of kings.
You want to build your antenna.
Never easy to fold a set.
Does it have to be green?
No, but it's nice. It's nice because something to do with the oscillations. Or,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure how it works. I wasn't. I'm just guessing. Even
Now,
I'm
do
not
those
even
goggles
sure.
have any capacitors
This is all conjecture.
to keep some of the oscillations in? Or is it just gone, actually?
Oh, I'm already straddled.
Beats.
Yeah, he beats your ear. I'm trying to like.
Fire.
You're having fun. I don't care.
Oh, you have
Can
fun.
we
Ross must
get
have
you?
fun.
Yeah. His first.
I have fun every day, buddy.
Remember he was the 2 hands in a row?
Yeah, I thought so, but I didn't know if we would give him anything. I don't remember.
Straddled pot, once again, 25, 50, 100. Igor's going to raise on the button to 300.
Still has a good fortune.
Wolf suspects something here. The dynamic between the button and the blinds always kind of intrigues me. Neither player gives credit for the other one. It's like, I know you don't have to have a big hand in the button, but the button knows that you know
having to pay the second
that.
tip.
That's your baby.
And the guy in the blind also knows that you know that he knows
When they
that.
have the 2 in a row.
Oh.
Schombacher just calls. 4s are hot.
5 1/4.
525.
Lock's going to lead out here. A float by Igor. He's got a gut shot. I don't think Schombacher is going to fold this that easily. Could be wrong.
I thought that baby was an earpiece at first. You know, like
I thought it looked
a,
like,
yeah.
or like a candy corn or something.
Now, Igor was floating on the flop, but he probably wasn't counting on Schombacher coming and sticking around for it. And if we get the showdown, Schombacher will win this hand.
All right, time for the splash pot. Take a look up front. Good luck to all tables. Table 14, congratulations.
Schombacher, dad, professional poker player, has 2 sons. I think one was born fairly recently. Thursday. Oh, wow. That's not fairly. That's like yesterday.
700.
He took his kid home this morning and he came here to play poker. Wow. Right back to work for this guy, huh? Man. I was just checking his Twitter feed and I saw that he had a baby boy recently. So I know he has 2 sons, but I didn't realize it was, I didn't realize he had his son 2 days ago. Igor bets the river.
Didn't you want to raise it? Oh my God.
I had to talk myself out.
And gets Jack to fold the best hand.
I told myself out of not 3-betting free.
I haven't folded to a 3-bet yet, all once.
You have once.
Nice bet, nice hand, whatever it was. I had a hand too, but I just didn't call it or raise.
We all had hands.
Besides the person
Jack had
putting-
8s,
putting
you had,
in the most
I don't
money,
know,
the most
5-6,
money.
5-8.
Yeah, he had, right, he didn't have shit.
He had like 8s, so he had 5-6. Ace 5.
I had exactly 8s. Good read. I almost made it 3,200.
There's a very intense conversation going on in the chat room about what's a set and what's
I don't know
trips.
if you believe me or not, if I make it like 5,000.
There's a tip pot, boys and girls.
You had the 5-6.
Ace 5, man.
Yeah, your favorite pot of the whole session.
I do believe there's a difference between a set and trips. That's why I'm on the side of, if you have a pair,
I fold the best hands that I
you can flop a set. Or you can flop quads.
Couldn't play any better.
If you do not have a pair in your hand, you cannot flop a set. You can only flop trips.
6,000.
But I'm not going to be a Nazi about it. If somebody misspeaks, and as long as it's clear what they mean, who cares really?
He defends.
I'm a flop junkie. Yeah, I want to see the flop.
I mean, I'll bet all my queens.
853 Rainbow, top pair here for Mike. Mike Vierheller. He's the one he's the satellite winner. He played a satellite at 12 o'clock, a $1,000 satellite, won that table, and that got him onto this table.
Oh, wait. I really folded?
So he's trying to turn 1,000
My hand alive.
into 10,000 into who knows. It didn't work yesterday
Did I ever let go of my
for Dan Wolf. He turned 1,000 into 10,000 and then lost it. Had to rebuy.
Oh, I misread my hand. If I had
Hopefully
this
for
hand, I
Mike's
folded, but
Mike's
then I
sake,
said, oh my God, I
he'll
thought
have
I
better
had a
luck.
different hand that I would have called with. So I didn't know. Had I folded? I wouldn't want to ever do
I
an
don't know
angle
if they're
shoot,
local.
but
I don't think you did.
I
I
had,
don't know if they're local
I had
ones,
Queen 9 of hearts, and then I thought I had 9, 6 of
Right, here you
hearts, whereas 7 would be a straight or something. I thought
Right.
I thought I flashed over to having a pair and a straight draw with a flush something.
Yeah.
More powerful, like 2 overcards in a gutter or so. I thought I had. So I was like, oh wait, did I really fold this? Like I would call this.
You better rearrange your stack. The signals are getting a little
That's say
bit.
no. Well, it's on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
When in the orbit, there's these little lapses. I'm out. I'm just out of reception.
So when's it get back?
But so I didn't want to ever do. I guess even if it's close, I should just fold because I
No,
made
you
the
can
fold
ask. You
motion.
can ask whatever the ruling is. I think it's.
It is a good thing.
Whatever the
I'm
house
so
rule is. I don't know what the house rule
startled that I
is.
made the mistake.
Forward substantial motion. I would say that was a
No,
fold.
fold then. Yeah, it was forward substantial motion. Okay, good. I'm glad that.
Forward substantial motion.
Yeah, there's a misconception. A lot of people think the line
forward substantial.
that you see on a poker table,
Still, every time you got to do
they
that.
believe the line actually has a meaning.
You played every.
I'm in favor of eliminating lines from poker tables, just to avoid
I never know if you
people
have-
misunderstanding what's a bet, what's not a bet, what's action, what's not action. I just say get rid of the line. Because for the vast majority of tournament managers out there and poker rooms out there, at least ones I've played in, the line is meaningless. Forward motion is what indicates action. So I don't know why they still make tables with lines.
You're like the
That particular line at least,
classic.
When it doesn't mean anything.
Oliver.
Dickens?
Yeah, Oliver and
Twist.
you're like,
Oliver Twist,
yeah,
right?
and moving around and
Yeah.
you know, I can't catch you. You can catch me. I feel like one of those guys in the just floating out there. I'm always happy when you fold because when you raise me, I don't know what to do.
Spleefed, we'll be letting you know what the buy-ins for the profit loss for each player at the end of the show. That is in approximately 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Did we do the flop thing on the 15th of the
Yeah, they got me.
Jack lost.
It's a win.
I can tell you Tom Schneider is winning.
We would be like stranded.
I can tell you Phil Locke is winning.
Without oars in our boat, without the dealers. We just be drifting.
I wanted to play friendly.
Not as big swings as yesterday when Jennifer Tilley was down about 40K. We had a couple players up 20,000. Ten high flop. Nothing there for either player.
What you move on to?
Little Glenn Levitt.
You have a seat on 3.
Oh, I like the side by side. So this is not official,
I didn't get the.
but based off our records right now, it actually Phil Locke is our big winner. He's up about $12,000. Schneider is up about $9,000.
I need that. For the longest time, I had just one long.
Dan Wolf, Clarence, Cletus,
I like that tradition.
whatever you want to call the guy,
Good deal.
Blinker,
Yeah, we should have.
he's up about $3,000. The rest of the table is down.
Spend $hours a day to work.
Nobody.
Kind of like a key to the city kind of thing.
Maintain that.
Well, Jack Schombacher is down $15,000 now, and I think he's played really well. He lost the majority of that in that one big hand where he flopped a set of kings, got rivered, and made a great laydown.
Raise the 200.
Sometimes losing money is unavoidable. So he's down about 15,000. Mike Vierheller, who's the one that satellited in, he's down 4,400. But remember, he's in the game just for 1,000. David Baker, who's playing in the tournament, he left just under. He was down about 1,800. Igor, pretty much even. Mark Smith down about 1,400.
Big hands, just their little pots really fast.
I know, right?
Looks like he's down more than that, but I guess
No, you don't have any kids, do you?
stacks are deceiving. Unofficial.
I take care of one kid.
These are very approximate numbers, by the way, guys.
Daily.
Hope that helps out.
Take care of me every
You have
day.
kids, Tom?
I do. Two daughters,
Cool.
29 and 27.
Wow.
Any grandkids yet?
Raise the 3.
No grandkids, no.
You'll love them when you get them.
Yeah.
Cornet says satellite for a cash game is a little strange. It is. It's something that we just started doing here in Pittsburgh. We're trying to give a chance for a local player to get involved and play on the Poker Night in America cash game, be on TV. You want to play with some pros, you want to play with some celebrities, we'll give you that opportunity here at Poker Night in America. And we did it yesterday. Satellite started at noon. We'll do it again tomorrow. $1,000 satellite, so you can call here at the Rivers Casino. Put yourself on the list if you want to get in.
3 and 4.
And if you win that one table satellite, your 1,000 will turn into 10,000, and then you can
Raise the 400.
play in this.
Boy, Phil. Yeah, how's the reception?
Well, mothership hit a meteor and
Getting back to the felt, by the way, the line. Dalib guy says, he brings up a good point. He says a line gives, it lets the players know how far a player should fold their cards so the dealer can reach. I understand that, but I mean, isn't that common sense? The dealer's not friggin' plastic woman, okay? Her arms don't go that far. If she can't reach, then you push your cards out further. If she can't reach the chips, the same thing.
Monsters there.
It's crazy.
I think the line, I think the line confuses and causes more misunderstanding, and is an opportunity for angle shooting, more so than what good it does at the poker table, personally.
There you go. That's it right there.
Philadelphia feet, and I believe that's how I say it. Poker night at Rivers in Schenectady in the future. Todd, by the way, is not here, so I can't ask him. We're in upstate New York already, though. We're at Turning Stone, so I'm not sure if we'll make 2 trips to, places so close. But I don't know. I'm not the guy to ask. You can send a tweet though at Poker Night TV. They'll answer for you.
Gone yet?
What?
Gone yet?
Sometimes you can get the chips.
Tits and Tits says, I think some rooms use the line, so manufacturers have to put it on their tables. Keep in mind, felts for poker rooms are all custom. If you play at a casino, generally speaking, that felt will say that name of the casino on it. Or if you have a sponsor, they might put the sponsor on it. This particular felt is custom made for Poker Night in America. Brand new, by the way. I hope you like it. I think it's beautiful. So if you are a poker room and you request to have the line off, I assume they could do it. I'm trying to start a movement, okay? Help me out.
That's going to win. I would call a lot of hands.
It's fun to get free money like that, isn't it, Phil?
Well, I don't know if you call that free.
That's free.
You guys give me way too much credit. I love how that's good when when you have, like, let's say I just theoretically, hypothetically had 9s, 10s, or jacks down. Let's just say that was
The satellite to get into this is obviously 10-handed. That's how you turn 1,000 into 10,000.
You wonder if they're bullshitting you on their perception.
He gets thrown in, right?
Yeah, he gets in. He gets in. He gets in. If he doesn't come.
Jumbo Salted Pretzel says, you've moved me, Tuck. My poker table is line free. There you go. I'm changing people's minds one person at a time. One mind at a
Sit
time.
there like a manhole cover for 4 days, not play hand. You come in, and then 8 guys at the table like, oh, nice bluff. You know, you haven't done anything in 4 hours.
Mickey Deuces likes lines, though. Just understand the line doesn't mean anything. I played a ridiculous amount of poker in the last live poker over the last 12, 14 years, whatever it might be. And the confusion generally is somebody puts money out there and goes, "Oh, I didn't cross the line, so it's not a bet." And then a floorman has to come over and explain to them,
All right, let's see what happens.
the line doesn't indicate that. I have very rarely been in a poker room where the line. Actually, I don't think I've ever been in a poker room where the line was indicated whether it was action or not. It was always forward motion. Pair of 8s for Locke, but a pair of jacks for Schneider. Ray Smuckles puts out an interesting question. If Phil Locke is the most interesting guy in poker, apparently Ray Smuckles thinks that, who would be the second most interesting, man or woman? Not best player, most interesting. Schneider bets 1,400. Locke can only beat a bluff. This is an interesting bet by Schneider. A lot of guys are checking this back. You know, I mean, he's got second pair to the board. Diamonds out there. A lot of players are not betting this hand. It's a good value bet by Schneider, though. Locke's not going to pay him off, though.
Mothership is full communication right now.
I folded a winner, huh? Damn. You give me a free roll?
$50. Same deal you gave me.
No, kill the hand. I meant a free roll on that's a true statement or not. Because we're not looking, you know. We won't know till the end of the night.
Right.
I'll tell you at the end of the night.
Hey, did anyone at the on the break learn anything? I learned one hand.
Just the hand you had with.
Yeah. Is there any other?
That's the only one I saw.
I didn't learn anything.
And the ace king, did have ace king as.
I saw that on the way out. Yeah, that's right.
That's what I said, and that's what I had.
I think that's only 2 hands.
Those are the only two I saw or heard
I
about.
didn't really. There might have been 1 or 2, but I didn't see. Nice bet there on the turn river. That was just brilliant. As you know, it's very hard for me to call. It's so powerful. You just know how hard it is to call. So brilliant. No wonder why you went on.
I wish I was as good as you talked. I don't even think about the stuff you're talking about. I'm not even thinking
right there in that hand, whether you had it or not, that was like the ideal bet size.
3 of the ball.
Ten, 9, 8, 2 clubs out there. Wolf with the overpair plus the straight draw. Schneider's got the straight draw as well on the ass end of it. See if Schneider bluffs at it. Looks like he bet 2,000. Kind of casually puts in there, actually 1,200. 1,200 into 2,000. Wolf can't beat much. Can't beat a flush. Can't beat an 8. He can beat a bluff, though, and he's going to pay him off. Good call by Wolf as he wins that one. Oh.
Can I buy the bottom here?
You are the one.
He used the donking call strategy, which is your strategy, against you.
Yeah.
He used your weaponry.
I know.
You were basically out in the field, and you were like, he has my catapult. What's going on?
So I'm hearing that Michigan State apparently defeated Ohio State.
Actually, just
Let me have water.
That's his tool.
Wow.
Check call, check call, check call. He gets all the money. That's all he does.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now.
Well, that's going to change things up at the top, huh?
They got my...
Maybe North Dakota can get in there. Let Chris Hansen know.
That's,
Yeah,
you
I
know
mean-
what? It's war now. Before it was just fun. Now it's war.
So the question now is, if Ohio State
Yeah, it was fun before.
beats Michigan next week in Michigan, do they still get in the top 4? Do they still get in the playoff? That was only their first
I'm not gonna
loss.
try to win.
I mean, obviously, one-loss teams are going to get in. So if Ohio State beats Michigan in Michigan next week, do they still get in? I put that out to our audience.
Hey, can you give me,
Thanks so much for spending your Saturday with us. Whether we agree or disagree on certain facts, I think we're having a good time.
They might have him over at the game. You don't have him. You don't have him. Oh, okay, that's fine. Later, I'll come back later.
Apparently, a last-second 41-yard field goal was enough for Michigan State. Lucky I wasn't kicking that field goal. Threes are the best hand here.
That's good. Pocket threes.
Wigmaster and Scotty Mofo saying no, Iowa. What if Iowa loses to Ohio State, though? Championship. Now won't even be in. So Ohio State might not be in the Big Ten championship.
Friend Wing Wong would say. The glove
Just
is
one
off.
of them or both?
How many losses
Glove
does
is
Michigan
off.
have?
That's what he would always, I don't think he could say plurals. The glove is off.
Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah,
What?
exactly. Yeah, could have been Michael Jackson.
Raise the 4.
So if Michigan State beats
Gamble with my
Iowa,
friend,
then what?
Mr. Locke.
It's like gambling.
And they all have one loss. Then what? That's interesting.
Raise the 18.
Rent Guild says, mute the commentator, please. This is the amazing thing. Depending on where you're watching, there is probably a volume control. Now, if you're watching on your TV, that's great. That means you are smart enough to hook up your computer to your TV. Well done, you. You probably have a remote control somewhere near you. Look for that remote control, and there'll be a button that probably says vol, just VOL. That's short for volume. Press the arrow pointing down. Nice double up here for Vierheller. Pretty standard. Not very deep. Ace King versus Aces. I don't know how the chips don't go in free. Especially when you got the straddle in effect. It's just not, you're not that deep. So you press that arrow that goes down. That will mute
35, 36.
45.
the commentator,
46.
aka me.
48. 48, 50.
25, 35, 45, 46. 48, 50?
48.
I'll take 150.
Certainly.
Oh. That's one of those times where you're okay that you don't wake up with a big hand. You know, I had a hand that every poker player in the world is going to start the bidding with. Some might continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been over here a while.
It's possible to have those hands.
I kind of like to see the local amateur win. It's a good story.
It's the wave theory.
Phil Locke, by the way, is basically even. He lost about 13,000 yesterday, right? So
There's a lot of hitting through the fabric.
No, that's not correct. It's permanent.
we're back at it tomorrow, guys. Once again, 1 p.m. Eastern time. More cash games. I do not have the lineup in front of me, but we'll get that for you. Next week, we've got some great lineups. Florida is always fantastic. A lot of big name pros are in the Florida area, down in Hollywood. And that is next Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Tuesday is Women's Night, which should be pretty cool. Button in front of Igor. He has 3-bet the open of Mike Vierheller. Mike's going to call. We'll see this one heads up. Queen on the flop. We are in Pittsburgh, inside the Rivers Casino poker room for Poker Night in America. I'm David Tuckman.
Oh, sorry.
That's my girl. I'm good. What's